Warning: this program may contain explicit language that may be considered offensive or inappropriate to children and some adults.
The following content is intended for mature audiences only.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Geekin'Out. What's up, everyone?
Geekin'Out.
I am your host for tonight, Rickey Z, social media manager, teacher, mom, whatever I do, and all the stuff. And I'm hosting tonight. We also have our entrepreneur, leader of Roll Nelly Media, Jerry Rashad.
Thank you.
And then our ultimate geek, Julian.
Hello.
I feel, why does he get to be the ultimate geek?
Well,
That's
I think
not
maybe
cool.
I might be the nerdiest of us. Maybe not the nerdiest, but possibly the nerdiest.
It depends on the day and the subject.
I guess, yeah.
Okay?
Maybe it depends on the thing. Science nerd,
I think
maybe.
so.
I love your earring. I keep telling you, I love your earring.
Oh,
yes.
Thank you.
If you guys notice, we are short one today. Our buddy Chris is under the weather, so
but he's in our hearts.
Yes, send him good wishes.
He better be watching. Is he not in the comments?
I haven't seen him yet.
Look, if he ain't watching, Thomas better be watching. Look,
Right.
somebody in that house better be watching.
He needs to rest.
I know. That's true.
Leave him be.
Anyway, I'm so glad that he is resting and getting himself better. So shout out to Chris. We love him.
Yes, but we have a special guest panelist tonight. We're so excited to have her back.
Really though.
We have our resident author, fellow Buffy fan, and witch lover, Miss Jessica Garrett.
Boom! OG in the house. Welcome back. For those of y'all who don't know, Jessa helped us found this whole situation. We were part of the fivesome that stumbled into this amazing adventure. We're so glad to have her back for this episode.
I'm so happy to be here, and it's such a topic close to my heart.
Right. Yes. We were doing it, and I was like, who's going to write fifth chair? And I was like,
oh, duh.
I'm going to ask Jessa. Like, she might be busy because, but I was like, well, let me ask her. She was like, oh my God, what? Yeah. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Like, this is the one I've been waiting for.
Right.
So if you don't know, Jessie was one of our original panelists on Geekin'Out. She's also an author of 2 books, the Timeless series. So you want to talk about that real quick?
Oh, sure. So I've written 2 young adult novels. They are Timeless, The Becoming of a Teenage Witch, and Timeless, The Law of the Coven, which are both about witches. So really, really love witches, and I've been geeking out about witches in preparation for this. So really, really excited.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for being back with us. Oh, we miss you so much.
I'm excited.
But
before we move on, I want you, if you're watching right now and this is your first time or this is your second time, please go ahead and share the link. Share Squad. I stole that from Gary Vee. He said share Squad. That means drop this in your friends' DMs on your page. Post it so we can share the Geeking Out with people and they can come and turn up about this subject. Also, if you're on our YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Click the like button. Give us a comment, and also click the bell so you'll get notified whenever we post new content. And if you're watching us on Twitch, we are going to be bringing a lot of amazing new content that's exclusive to Twitch starting in February. So make sure you follow our page there. Maybe go ahead and get a sub, hook us up, show us the love. All right. Yes. I'm done. That's my spiel.
Julian, what were we about to say?
Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to save it for Geeking Out. But it is a coin. It's a throwback to one of our first episodes when we actually like first were talking about like the witchy and geeky stuff. And okay, so we'll talk about it later. We'll get to it. I thought I was gonna say it now, but I was like, no, let me save it.
Awesome. Okay, well then let's just go ahead and get started. So, we always start the show on what we're geeking out about. So let's start with our guest, Miss Jessa.
Oh, fun.
What are you geeking out about?
Well, so it actually is coincidence that we're talking about witches today because I have gone on like a witch deep dive.
I think all of us have in preparation for this.
So no, this was even like before. I do not remember a time that I've gotten so many like witchy books for Christmas. So I just finished Waking the Witch by Pam Grossman, which is just freaking awesome. And then I'm reading Witches, Sluts, and Feminists right now by, it's Kristen I'm going to say it wrong, Soleil. And both of the books are about like the history of witchcraft and witches and kind of about the witch as a feminist icon. And oh my God, so powerful. So that's really kind of geeking out on like the history behind witches right now, which is great. And a little bit of feminism too, which is great.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, Julian, what are you geeking out about?
Okay. So all right. So I'll start with the throwback. So I didn't realize that A Discovery of Witches is becoming like its own show, or is already.
I thought it was already a show.
Is it really? Okay, see, that's what I mean, because I only saw the trailer just recently. It like popped up on my YouTube at random. So I was like, oh, no way, because I know we were talking about this like in one of the first episodes. In fact, Jessa was the one who I think had what is the word?
Brought it
up and like referred it to. Oh God, I can't even think of words right now.
He always gets so nervous. Like, why do you?
But anyway, Jessa was the one who had brought it up, and I was like, oh, no way, Discovery of Witches. And I'm like, and they're making a whole show about it. Apparently, they already have the show. I haven't actually watched it. I'm sure it's on one of the streaming channels I don't have. But I'll get around to it. I'll pirate it somewhere, so don't tell anybody. But so then that one was pretty cool because I was like, oh no way, we were talking about this, and so when I saw it I was like, yes, okay, and then we're talking about witches today, so I'm like, oh, it's even better, so I'm gonna have to definitely get on that one. Otherwise, the other one I was geeking out about, which unfortunately Chris is not here for, was I mean we are talking about witches, so maybe I should probably just save it. But like Sabrina, the final season of Sabrina, the last season of Sabrina Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, rather.
Right.
Just came to Netflix. Well, I just finished watching it like last week, well, a few days ago, rather.
Are you about to give spoilers?
Oh no, I'm gonna give none. In fact, I'm gonna give none because I don't want to geek out. Well, rather, Chris isn't here because I was hoping to discuss this with him, but he's feeling a little under the weather.
Oh, I've binged it.
So we'll definitely discuss it.
Yeah, but we're probably gonna end up talking about it anyhow, especially since today's theme and all. Because I mean, we've all been like deep diving about witches, I think, in preparation for this. Also because we kind of all love witches, so like that's kind of really what I've been mostly geeking out about is a lot of like magic and stuff, magic and witches these days. Well, always, but especially in the past few days. But yeah, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina I just finished. Also, I just started, I started rewatching, Magicians just came back. So that's another one. I was like, another one. But
is Magicians actually about witches, or is it more like
I guess it's more like magic, but I mean, witchcraft and magic are technically all the same.
That's debatable.
It's debatable.
That's because Harry Potter mixes the two. Like it like distinguishes that women are witches and then men are wizards. But I think in different lore, it's different things. Like because in Charmed, wizards and witches are not the same thing at all. Technically, witches are good. Warlocks are bad. Wizards are illusionists. Mm-hmm. So each lore has its own different take on it. So I was wondering, are magicians are they wizards?
Well, they are all technically the same kind of wizard. You know, they're all the same magic user kind of a thing. Okay. So it's like whether they're a witch or wizard or warlock, they all use technically the same magic. It's just what they have access to, kind of a thing.
Okay.
But yeah, that one's a good one too. That one's a great one too. But you're right though. They like different universes, I suppose, have different magic systems and the names for who they are for their magic users. So that I guess we would broach that subject because I was going to ask if a wizard.
Let me remember to talk.
Yeah, if a wizard and a witch would technically kind of be the same, because in certain universes they are. You know, can we consider them at least for this? We'll find out. Stay tuned and we'll find out. But yeah, I've been geeking out about like a lot of Magic stuff lately, so it's been nice. It's been pretty cool. Otherwise, what else have I been doing? A lot of video games these days. I've been playing a lot of Heroes of the Storm. I've been doing a lot of. I've been kind of spending some time with that, and then some StarCraft 2 I've been getting back into, which I'm getting a lot better at. No one knows what I'm talking about, but whatever. That game is amazing. Yeah, StarCraft is like old school, like real-time strategy game.
My husband
like
likes
Risk or like Civilization or Baldur's Gate, like back in the day. It's set in like the future and space and different planets and things. So they've got different like alien races and stuff. But you like build an army, fight each other basically. But it's a good game. It's fun to get back to because it's been a while. Also, StarCraft is like ages old, so it's like nostalgia all over again. So it's nice to get it back into that. But
it's funny because I just, like I was talking about, we're bringing new content to Twitch. So I've been trying to like immerse myself in Twitch culture. Dude, Twitch is so incredible. I thought it was just games. No, it's literally, if you can think of it, they have it there. They have these thing called writing sprints where like writers will like sit and they'll just kiki about whatever for like 5 minutes and then they'll just type for 15. And so it like forces them to like, for that 15 minutes just to only focus on that, nothing else. I got so much writing done.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is like, because in the break time you like do social media, whatever, and they're like, oh, we're starting a sprint, and I'm like, okay, 10 minutes, and I actually just, and you know, we might talk about it, or like somebody will throw up something and be like, oh, this is what I'm working on, and we'll discuss it. It's really cool. They have cooking on there. They have freaking, they have everything on Twitch. If you haven't been to Twitch, go to Twitch. If you have any trade or skill, I promise you they have it on Twitch.
They have it Twitch, yeah. And Twitch has totally grown over, especially this year. This year, Twitch really has taken off, you know, because everyone's, well, last year rather.
That's true.
We're in the next year finally. Well, last year they definitely like took off, you know, and they definitely started to show a lot more things. Like a lot more people kind of gravitated to the different areas of Twitch. Because I remember when Twitch was like first came out, it was like well, at least what I used it as when I first got introduced to it. It was for World of Warcraft because it was the download client to get your add-ons, so you can like change the UI, so you can like, you know, it would do certain things for you like in the game. So it would like, you know, give you certain alerts and stuff. It would change the map, the way the map looks. It would give you the coordinates, whatever it is that you needed, you know. Because back in the day they didn't have those things built into the game. They kind of just they did that to kind of get rid of the add-ons as time went. But like that's kind of where you went to go get your add-on. So like the Twitch client was totally different. But at least for me, it was so much different then. It's like kind of now encompassing all of these other things, and like the video component has become so big. So it's really grown. It's really grown over the past few years for sure. Like the past like 3 or 4 years. But in this last year, we all know they had to make like big strides because everyone was on Twitch. Everyone was streaming at that point. So. And here we are.
Right.
That's how we got here, right?
All right, so Jerry, so what are you geeking out about?
Now, y'all know when y'all come to me, like, everybody usually comes like with 1 or 2 geeking out things. I have to pull my list out, okay? So, okay, here it goes.
For last.
Right. So the last thing I'm gonna talk about, we're gonna like discuss. I feel like we're gonna, because it almost ties into the topic, so I'm gonna save that. So let's start with they're talking. Oh, I'm gonna talk about this. So just a really quick thing. Chasing Dion just got picked up for another season. If you don't know what Chasing Dion is about, it's a comic book that came out first, which is about like this little kid who's like a superhero, and like I guess like there's agencies after him or whatever, and his mom has to like protect him or whatever. I haven't seen the show, but I'm glad that it got picked up for a second season because I like to like binge certain shows. I have to watch every episode of Charmed, but other shows, like I like to binge after a while. So I'm glad about that. Okay, so the Black Panther recasting conversation has been sparked again. Oh, Lord. So, well, after Chadwick Boseman passed, of course the decision was made, you know, oh, well, don't recast that character. And I guess at the moment it seemed the smartest thing to do because you felt like you were almost like trampling on his legacy. But then everybody took a step back and thought about it, right? Mm-hmm. When, what's his name? Heath Ledger passed, you know, Joker got I was going to say reincarnated, but... Reimagined, thank you. Yeah. He got reimagined like 3 or 4 more times after that. Yeah. And Jared Leto, this was the part... It was Jared Leto, just the young man's... I think it's twins, right? From Gotham?
I feel
right.
like
I think it was twins. The twins played him on Gotham, and then
Joaquin Phoenix.
And then Joaquin Phoenix, right? And so basically, everyone thought about it like that. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be so harmful. But this is what really got to it. It's like you take, like, there's so many white superheroes, right? But there aren't any black superheroes, and you finally have one there, and that symbol is there for us, you know. And there's so many black male actors who would be great in that part. And so they were basically just saying for at least the symbolic nature of that character and what he was is like, you know, you really made something epic with this process. And it's not like we would be. Actually, I feel like it would be an honor to his legacy because he started that legacy. He made it possible for that to be a thing, and we know that that's there. So it's actually been a lot of people who've come out and said, like, I actually don't see it would be a bad thing. So if you're watching, let us know in the comments what you think. Do you think they should recast, or do you think they should not? What do y'all think?
Were there not conversations about the sister taking over as Black Panther?
Well, that became problematic because then she came out and said a whole bunch of transphobic stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Well, I don't think she said it. She posted something about that was anti-vax.
Yeah.
But that was also anti-trans. But she was making the point of the anti-vax, but the men in the video that she posted used transgenderism to negate reasons you would believe in the vaccine. Mm-hmm. And so then it looked really bad on her, even though she didn't really. And so then after that, they came out with a synopsis for what Black Panther 2 is going to be about, and they said it's going to be about the country as a whole.
Yeah.
And so I guess now they're just like, you know, well, we can't do that, and it would be hurtful to put her there, so we don't know what to do. But I don't really think people would trip if they recast it. I really don't.
I don't know. I think the difference between Chadwick Black Panther and like Heath Ledger's Joker is that it's not necessarily part of the same reincarnation of Joker.
Okay.
Whereas like. Yeah, because Heath Ledger, that's part of the Dark Knight. And then you have the Gotham, which is a completely separate series. And then you have Joaquin Phoenix, like a whole another movie. Right, whereas you're normally with the Marvel MCU, like, they're all basically, with the exception of, like, what's his name? Don Cheadle's character.
Right. But that was because Terrence Howard, like, something happened. Yeah.
With money, but
I thought it was money, right? It was money,
right? But like either like you're still expecting like the same actors to play these characters because it's still all part of the same universe,
right?
So exactly. Like I can see why it could be like not confusing, but just like I don't know if I can get into it.
If it's not Chad.
Prior to the actress that played Shuri posting that video, she was kind of going on some conspiracy rants as far as like dealing with COVID. You know, like prior to that, I would have been okay with them like passing the mantle to her.
Hey Mo. I mean, this is what I want to say about that. Like, listen, come on. Like, okay, she didn't believe in the vaccine. I don't care. You don't believe in the vaccine, don't believe in the vaccine. Fine. Like, that's your choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people don't get the flu vaccine. I don't think it's necessarily like, it's not a Henny in the cup. It's just a little juice. It's not Hennessy. It's really not though. It's really not. But I think like when you look at the whole idea of what they're doing with Spider-Man, that kind of eliminates the whole idea of like, oh, we can't. Because do y'all know what they're doing with Spider-Man? Oh, let me tell you. So Spider-Man 3, the next Spider-Man is going to actually have Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire.
That's right.
And what is the young man? Tom Holland. All three of the Spider-Mans are going to be in it. Jamie Foxx is also going to be in it.
Are they all Spider-Man?
Yes. They're all going to be Spider-Man.
I guess they're doing this
and also Doctor Strange is going to be in the movie. Yeah.
I love Doctor Strange.
And there are hints that the Scarlet Witch is going to be in the movie too. Yeah. And with WandaVision, which we're going to talk about later, just coming out. Basically, when you really dig into the X-Men Marvel lore, Wanda's powers are so just limitless. She does all kind of weird stuff with her powers because she also like isn't really on kilter all the time. She's not always sane. So she creates these alternate universes and stuff where they, like at one point she like takes all the mutants' powers away from them, all this crazy stuff. And Doctor Strange deals with multiverses. So they're basically going to open the door for the fact that all the things we've seen are basically part of just different multiverses.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, Charlie Cox from Netflix's Daredevil is going to be in the movie as well. I am so excited about it because if you watch the WandaVision stuff, I don't want to go. We're there. We're there.
No,
we're
don't spoil.
No, I'm not spoiling. I'm not spoiling it because they've only had 2 episodes, and so I'm basically talking about stuff that was revealed before the episodes even aired. Everyone, if you know anything about WandaVision, the way it looks is basically Wanda is clearly trapped in some sort of reality that is not the reality, right? And everything's supposed to be symbolic of other stuff. So that's what, like, the response has been, oh, this is boring. But really, knowing Marvel and knowing how much money and thought and how they like they're the long runners. They're not sprinters. That means that everything that you thought was boring in the first 2 episodes, I swear, at the end you're going to be like, oh my God, dude, I don't understand. Your mind's going to be blown, right? Yeah. So, but because of that, she's always being manipulated by these incredibly malevolent forces. Or when I say malevolent, not only that they're malevolent, they're just also incredibly powerful. Because you have to think, Thanos was the last big villain. We have to either match him or be better. And that's a tall order. So, and you know, the other thing about this is they kind of laid layers for the big villains very early on. So that's the controversy. Everyone's trying to figure out who's the next big villain's going to be. Some people say it's going to be Doctor Doom. Some people say it's going to be... I don't know who it's going to be, but all of these characters, all these villains are coming up. I think it's actually going to be her, the Scarlet Witch. Because she is both a villain and a hero in the X-Men series. So I think it's going to be her. Okay. That's all I want to say about that because I don't want to spoil it. But if you haven't watched WandaVision, have y'all seen it?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Do y'all plan on watching it?
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to wait till it's all on and binge it, Jessica?
I might.
Me too.
Yeah, because
that's what I want to do. That's the only reason I haven't seen it. Rakia, yay or nay? You said you saw it. Yay or nay?
I've seen it. So here's the thing. Okay, so with Marvel... I'm just now really getting into the lore of Marvel via the movies. So, like, when I watch some of the movies and I see some of the characters, like, I'm always looking into, like, figuring out, like, what their backstory is. And I'm really interested in, like, the different incarnations of all the different characters. Like, any of the comic book characters, to be honest with you. So, like, I watched WandaVision with very little like knowledge outside of the Avengers movies that I've seen about her and Vision, and I'm intrigued. I don't know what's going on, but I'm definitely intrigued.
I have no idea what's happening, but
I have no idea. Awesome. But I'm enjoying it. Like, it's good. Like, I'm all for it.
Side note. Tiana Paris, if you don't know who Tiana Paris is, she's this beautifully, amazingly talented actress who played on Mad Men as Dawn. She is playing Monica Rambeau. I didn't know who Monica Rambeau was, right? But she was the little girl in Captain Marvel. So I went and researched why, like, because everybody's on the internet like, oh my gosh, she's Monica Rambeau. So I researched it. It's so surprising her character's not more well known. Her character is stupid, dumb, powerful with her powers. Like, she can't die. Like, her powers, I can't even, like, she takes energy and does whatever she wants with it. So, like, she can, like, be, like, it's one of those kind of things that, like, her powers really don't have limits. And she finds a way to, like, do anything and everything. So, with them bringing in characters like her and Miss Marvel and, like, not Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and then Scarlet Witch, these are the first characters they're introducing in this new phase. So, I'm so excited. Also, and she is the second Captain Marvel. Also, Matt Damon.
Miss Marvel.
Well, if they bring in Miss...
Separately.
Which one is the one who gets janked up by Rogue?
Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel? That's all I want. Look, if y'all do X-Men and Rogue is the same Rogue from the other one, just leave her out. Just let her stay at home. Like, I want the Rogue from the cartoons. I don't think they're going to bring in the mutants via Wanda, Mo. I think they're going to be bringing them. I kind of do think that. I'm not going to flex. That's my half, but I feel like that's so obvious that I think it's actually going to be Doctor Strange. Because that's not obvious. You know what I'm saying? That's just my personal opinion. Also, people are hinting toward Chris Evans returning to do like a mini series, just a little small series on him returning all of the stones. Yes.
That'd be interesting.
That'd be cool.
That would be dope. Okay. That's my Marvel spiel for today. Is that my Marvel spiel? Dr. Doom? Okay. Side note, if you haven't seen, this is kind of geekdom, if you haven't seen the new trailer for the United States versus Billie Holiday, oh my freaking goodness. Andra Day, who's a singer, you would never know that she was not an actress. You would never know that she was not Billie Holiday. In this trailer, I'm like, who went back in time and yanked Billie Holiday out and threw her in this film? It was so like, I didn't really understand like how political Billie Holiday was. You hear her about her singing, but I didn't know she was like really like a kind of person. I didn't get that from, because you see her classy, elegant, and you don't get that. That movie looks totally raw. It looks totally amazing. Lee Daniels, another one, he does it. I'm gonna see that movie.
Have you seen the show?
What show?
There's a show. We did it when I worked for the theater company, and I can't remember what the actual name was, but it was her doing like a set basically, but like going through all her like depression, and like so the first half is like gorgeous, and then she starts going through like these suicidal thoughts, and she's drunk, and I mean it's gorgeous. I'll have to find the name and send it to you because I can't remember what it was, but oh my gosh, and the actress who played her too, same thing you're saying, just amazing. Yeah,
I didn't realize that woman was she has so much depth and complexity. And what I really love is that we as humans now, we don't judge that. We see the beauty in like because back in the day, like, oh, you would hide those things. Now when it doesn't taint our view of who she was, knowing that she had struggles. It just makes her more real.
Yeah, we want to hear about it more. We want to connect with like celebrities, I suppose, in this light. But you want to, especially like your singers and stuff. You kind of want to connect with them a little bit more. I feel like the newer generations are feeling that more. You know,
Yes.
and it's a lot less on them as well. Because like if you think about it, like we all know that like singers, celebrities, they all kind of have like their own persona that they create, and they kind of stick to it. But it's totally different. We know that it's a persona. They know it's a persona. They know that they can put it down even and be themselves outside of that. Like if you look a lot of like old school actresses, for example, Hollywood actresses and stuff, and actors, they're in character all the time. You've never seen them out of character. I'm sorry, I love Dolly Parton to death. I think she's put a lot of her character into like who she is into her character to make it easier. But she's got to be Dolly Parton. You ain't never seen Dolly Parton in her regular hair. You have never seen her without a wig. You have never seen. Oh, other things to geek out about. Apparently, Dolly Parton was a part of Buffy, one of the co-producers of the original Buffy and Vampire Slayer.
The movie.
Movie, and then the series.
What was the show?
I think it was both actually. I think it was the movie.
Stop making me like Dolly Parton.
And it was the production. She is a co-owner of the production company and a co-producer of by that way of Buffy, but you know what I mean. But yeah, but she's unnamed, so like that's why nobody knew about it, and it's only just recently come up, and like the gays are kind of dying about it.
It's
like our icon is also part of another icon. It's like there's too many together.
It's like Lucille Ball though. Like Lucille Ball was part of the reason why we got Star Trek.
Yeah, she was. Oh my God, Lucille Ball. She was a producer of like 1,000 things. A lot of things that like a lot of people don't realize. Well, that's because when.
Can we talk about the Lucille Ball drama real quick?
Oh God, what?
Oh my God, yes. If they should have called Deborah Messing, and they have Nicole Kidman.
No shade to Nicole Kidman. I think Nicole Kidman is a beautiful woman. She's an incredible actress. But they announced that they're doing a Lucille Ball movie. Mm-hmm. Okay, pause. Anyone hears that? Anybody who knows anything about acting hears that and it's like, oh, Deborah Messing got a job.
And then you find out it's not her.
And then the fact that you find it's not her, it's like who? And it's not even no shade to Nicole Kidman. It's like whoever they picked that wasn't Deborah Messing should have just been a pumpkin.
And
because
as if, like Lucille Ball was also like a huge influence in Deborah Messing's like
The comedy, dude. Like, if you watch Will and Grace and you don't...
Yes! Oh, man, that girl, she was just like her, practically. You know what I mean? Like,
and the crazy thing is she wasn't... Like, when she was just Grace, she had all of the essence of Lucy. That's what's crazy about it. Is like... And then they finally did that episode. But it's like... And then you realize, oh, yeah, oh, my God. It dawns on you. It's not like she was putting that on the whole show. It dawned on you that, oh, she's perfect for that. And they're doing a life story about her. They're not going to get her to play Lucy Ball. I'm like, okay, girl. Okay, girl, I guess. But, Nicole, I'm no shade on you, because I actually like Nicole Kidman.
I do.
But, and Matilda.
Right.
People are upset. Yeah,
they're remaking Matilda?
Jessica, where have you been?
Look, I've been reading witch books and not.
Okay, I don't think, but it's not like a direct reboot of the movie. I think it's more of an
adaptation of the book
of the musical.
Yeah,
that's what
they're gonna be singing.
Maybe I think it's more in line with the musical.
Well, if they're gonna be singing, I take back everything I said because then, only because that puts a whole different layer of criteria on it. Because what they were saying is like, you know, this woman doesn't look like she could actually throw a child over a fence and stuff like that. I agree. The issue I have with it mostly is like there's probably a plus size actress somewhere who would have loved that paycheck. But then I had one of my friends say she agrees with that, but she also is tired of seeing plus size women villainized. And so it is. Those are two very good arguments for that. I feel like it was like either. I don't even mind that they put a name there, but I feel like they wanted to like Hollywood Trunchbull, and I was like, that's literally the one character ever that you don't have to Hollywood. But if they're singing, that's different because you got to
double check. I got to double check my sources on that. But the thing is, what was it? Oh crap!
Queen Latifah. Tamon said Queen Latifah should play Trunchbull. Queen Latifah is playing in a new TV show based off of Denzel Washington's The Equalizer.
Yes.
Oh, I saw that.
Playing a CIA agent, kicking people's ass. I said, now that I like. I like that. Because she was... And somebody was like, oh, ain't nobody scared of Khadijah from Living Thing. I said, Khadijah look like she got them hands. I don't know what you talking about.
I'm sorry, but did that person ever watch Set It Off?
Right. I'm not going to fight Queen Latifah.
No.
Unless she's like 80 years old. I'm not fighting Queen Latifah.
No.
Queen Latifah messed me up real quick.
I feel like she's going to try everything in her power to like resolve it as politically, you know, as platonically as possible.
Right.
But the second you like cross the line, you'll catch some hands. Like
those are the people you should be scared of the most.
I'm going to be real nice because if you push me there, I'm going to stab you in the face.
I'm sorry, but anybody that said that they're not scared of Queen Latifah has never seen Set It Off.
Never seen it.
Never seen it. I don't understand that, but okay.
Have you never seen Set It Off, Jessa?
I've never seen it.
Jessa, let me tell you why you would love that movie. Because it is one of the best, to me, drama. Because of when it came out. It sucks, but because of when it came out, those movies like that weren't really getting like award attention, critic attention. That to me was one of the best written, acted, directed films that I've ever seen. To me, that is one of the best American films.
And a great soundtrack.
Amazing soundtrack. Because it really speaks to so many universal themes. People feel like, oh, you know, they're black people in the hood. How could I, you know, relate if I'm not black? But it's not about that. It's about oppression. And whether it's like, it's about different types of oppression. Specifically, actually, male to female. When you look at the characters like Luther and all those characters, it's about socioeconomic oppression, friendship, sisterhood. It's about so many universal things. And if you like a good cry... Oh my God. Literally the last 20 minutes of the movie, you will never stop crying.
And you know, so many of those themes are just like our archetype of the witch that we're discussing today. So
that's why I threw them in there. That's why I was like, that's why you would like it, Jessa. Okay, I'm done. Oh no, one more thing. I found one more what's the word I want to use? Candidate for Storm.
Oh.
Okay.
Because everyone said, you know, the issue was like, oh, we want someone who's like a good actress, but who has that power in her, but who is also, you know, like a nice dark-skinned sister, right? Lisa Berry. You don't know her name. You don't know her name. But you know her face if you are a nerd. She plays Billy on Supernatural.
Oh, I don't watch
Wait, is that a later season of Supernatural?
Yeah,
okay.
she's the woman who becomes death.
No, stop. I know. I'm sorry.
Wait, what part? Because she's around. She's not that later. Well, I don't know. It's Supernatural one of those. What do you consider late?
I know. I stopped watching it season 10, and then I'm
Billy's in
rewatching.
season 10.
You made it that long, girl.
Billy's in
Bless
season
you.
10. She's she's a black girl who's a reaper, and she's like going back and forth with them all the time.
Maybe I remember. I don't know.
You might remember. Either way,
2 seasons away. I'll look at that.
Yeah. I mean, either way, she's an incredible. Another look. I'm bringing out the list because I do not want Janelle Monáe to play Storm, and that's mine.
I didn't know she was even in the running.
She put out a Twitter. It's like, oh my god, I'm gonna play Storm. I should play her, and because she has a bigger name, I feel like they're gonna go to that just because it's. But I think she aged out. They actually are talking about bringing in they said they're going to do a solo Yaya DaCosta. That is my number one choice, but I didn't want to say it out loud because that is my number one choice. Yaya DaCosta from season 3 of
American Next
Top Model. She's an amazing actress. She's beautiful. Yes.
Okay,
she would be amazing.
So when you mentioned Tiana Paris, I love Tiana Paris because she's like if Yaya DaCosta and Anika Noni Rose had a baby,
Tiana Paris. Yep.
That is Tiana Paris. And so
I would love to see Anika Noni Rose in Marvel. I don't know who she played, but as long as she's saying, I'm good. But yes, they say they're gonna do a standalone Storm project. It's gonna probably be a TV show. And it's gonna feature her in her younger years.
Okay.
But that's a rumor, so we'll see if that happens. But that's what I'm geeking out about. Y'all know because I come with lists.
Look, have you looked up Kiki Lane?
No, let me go right now.
Look her up for Kiki Lane because some of my friends that I follow on Twitter are all about her being Storm. So, and they've been saying it for years now.
She better. I don't really care how she looks. Okay, this a white man, so this must not be it.
Kiki Lane, KIKILAYNE.
Lane. Oh, I put LANG.
No.
Okay, that's why. I was like, no,
Lane.
She's slightly familiar. She's pretty. She's beautiful. I've never seen her. I can't think of her acting, but she's very beautiful. I'm really not so much about how she looks, though. There's a picture of her side by side with Storm. Oh, she was in Beale Street, which I haven't seen, but I'm more into how they act.
Right.
Dominique Jackson from Pose. I actually am gonna say no. Like, I like how Dominique looks. I'm not a fan of her.
Me neither.
Ooh.
I don't want to be the only one.
You gotta deal with the popcorn in your mouth.
I'm not a fan of her acting all the time. She has her moments, though. But you know who's acting I do love from Pose? What is her name? India Moore.
Yes, her acting is good. Yes.
India Moore. All right, I'm done.
That's great.
Okay, so what I'm geeking out about. So part of the reason why I picked the witches topic was because I started watching Witches of East End like last week, a couple weeks ago, and I like it. I love it a lot. I'm really sad that like it only lasted 2 seasons. Although that second season, like I'm on season 2 right now, like I'm probably about more than halfway through. It gets kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. That's why.
It gets kind of weird. They said because like they didn't the ratings went down. But like
ratings went down because it got weird.
Yes. But like it was a Lifetime show, so like I don't know what they were expecting for that kind of niche.
I don't watch Lifetime. That brought me to Lifetime, so I know it brought other people to Lifetime. But then it got weird.
But I kind of like the weird though.
I think when you set up something on the show, like that show is weird, and that's why
weird?
It brought.
It's like what kind of weird?
Okay, so spoiler alert to anybody who hasn't seen it. Just the premise, not a heavy spoiler alert. So the premise is there's this woman who's a witch, and she's immortal because witches aren't from Earth. They're from this other place that's similar to Asgard. And basically, this witch
they call it Asgard, yeah.
This witch is like a queen princess there, and something happened between her and her father, and she got kicked out. So, and she was cursed when she was kicked out. I think she was cursed when she was, but at some point she got cursed, and her curse is her daughters, who are also immortal, are gonna grow to be 26 and die, and then every time they die, she's gonna get pregnant again. and she'll give birth to them. They will grow to their 26, and then they'll die. And her sister, who's also cursed out of Asgard, was cursed to be a cat.
And have like 9 lives.
She can live forever, but if she dies 9 times, she's done.
Right.
So this is the story of them, and then so basically this time is different because this time she didn't tell her daughters that they were witches because she felt like
longer.
Yeah, she felt like if she didn't tell them, they would live longer, and then they finally lived. And so I think the first season is like around their 26th birthday.
No, it's actually closer because like in second season, the youngest daughter turns 30.
Oh, either way, there's this other family of witches that are there, and they're like trying to kill them. It is so good. The first season is so good, but in the second season, it's like ooh, and like let's throw a bunch of. I think it became like unnecessary. Like in a show where like you kill a character, it's okay to bring them back, but not like the next episode. That's not like it's like you kill them the season finale and bring them back the first episode of the new season. Then we feel like nothing counts. We don't feel scared anymore, you know? Mm-hmm. And so, like, because I was watching a show recently, I'm not going to tell you which one, but a character died, and when they died, they didn't bring them back for 8 episodes. Even though it was 8 episodes, it was enough to make me feel like they were actually gone. So when they came back, I was like, oh!
Like, thank goodness.
Yeah, but I think they should have just trusted their formula, and I don't think they did.
Highlight for season 2 would be Bianca Lawson.
Bianca Lawson always showing up with some powers. What are you talking about?
She's a vampire. She's a vampire because she's the same no matter what show she is in. So if you don't know who Bianca Lawson is, she's been an actress. She's been in the game since like at least the 80s, playing like some form of
age. Not the age.
I feel like late 80s at least. I think she's been around.
Maybe.
But like she's been playing some form of teenager, late or early 20s character for decades. Between being on the new class of Saved by the Bell, she was in a couple episodes of Buffy. She was Claire. She was Kendra. She was on Pretty Little Liars, like less than
at 40 years old, playing an 18-year-old.
Playing yes.
She was 40 years old playing an 18-year-old.
She does look amazing.
Believably.
Yes.
What is she? Where's she from?
Bianca Lawson, like, she has looked the same practically the entire time. I feel like she's...
I want to say black don't crack, but I'm not so sure. She could be a mix. But whatever, she looks flawless. I'm not gonna say. I just looked.
And anybody knows, another thing that's cool about her that she doesn't talk about, that really nobody talks about, is that she is Beyonce's stepsister.
Right,
bitch.
Her mother, after Beyonce's parents got divorced, her mother married Bianca Lawson's father. Her name is Tina Knowles Lawson, and they don't talk about it ever. I stumbled onto that one day.
Yeah, but the thing is that like Bianca's been in the business for like years.
Yeah,
and it's crazy because she looks the same.
Yeah, no, she doesn't.
Between Saved by the Bell, Buffy, Pretty Little Liars, she did a few episodes of Vampire Diaries. She's been in lots of things.
Bianca, if you're watching right now, Bianca, I will marry the fuck out of you tomorrow.
There you go.
All right.
Look, also, I am geeking out about, WandaVision. Like, I enjoyed it. Like, I literally, like I said, I have no clue what I'm looking for. I have no clue. But I'm enjoying it.
Not sure
but like, I like the feel of, so if you haven't seen it yet, this is not really a spoiler, but it's more like your 50s sitcom, Mary Tyler Moore type, starting off right now. From what I've seen from the trailer, it changes throughout the season, but like it starts off like your 50s sitcom, black and white, but you start seeing get a little glimpse of things like, okay, something about this is not right. What's going on? And it's like the Elizabeth Olsen, like the youngest sister of the Olsen twins, like she has really good comedic timing. Like it's really good. It's funny. So like I guess that's probably something that some people aren't like really prepared for, is that it has that sitcom feel and it's funny. But I enjoy it. So that's my thoughts on that.
Can I say something really quick?
Yeah.
Everybody out there, because I'm going to respond to this right here. Everybody out there who's talking crap about Marvel, what they doing, let me tell you something about Marvel right now. They own everything. They're going to do what the hell they want to do. Because now they're going to do exactly what and I feel like y'all trusted them this far, and we really haven't really been let down. Like, what's the worst Marvel movie you can think of?
The first
probably the Hulk
series.
The Hulk, but the Hulk was like, that was them figuring it out.
Yeah.
Technically, because the two Hulks, they didn't even use those actors. And my point is, like, they figured out the formula, and ever since Iron Man, it's been like, they've, even the ones you didn't like, they were good. They were okay.
Yeah.
They were enjoyable. They weren't freaking some of these other comic book movies they're trying to do. I ain't gonna talk about them.
Oh yeah, I agree with that 100%.
I haven't seen it yet, so especially when people talk trash about something, I really want to wait to see it. But I would want it to be good so bad because the trailer was so good for Wonder Woman, y'all.
I think you gotta give it some time. Like, I've seen Wonder Woman, and I fell asleep the first time I watched it, so don't judge me. But yes, I did. I did. But you know, like, I'm going to give it a try and watch it anyway. But what I've been enjoying is, particularly with everything, majority of everything getting onto Disney Plus now, is just like, I watched the first 2 episodes of WandaVision, and I immediately wanted to go and watch Age of Ultron to kind of go back to when Wanda's introduced. And like, I like being able to go back to those movies and find those little snippets of things you might not have noticed in those movies before, and why they're important. Yes, that are so important later on. Like, that's what I really enjoy. I
love that stuff.
Like, I really feel like that's what I enjoy the most about MCU, is just like finding those Easter eggs. Yes, all throughout the movies, and like, even when you don't watch them in order, if you remember just some of the things that happen, like, it's nice to be able to just kind of catch those things. And like, this is coming from someone that has very little knowledge of the Marvel universe, the comic universe. So like, whatever I'm getting is from the movies and whatever I look up on my own. So it's been really enjoyable that way.
I feel like the one rule, though, that I try to stay is, like, I will not watch it out of order. Because I'm actually one that can say I've watched everything in order, including everything on Netflix in order. And because of that, like, my brain is so, like, I know where I am, I know where the story is. You know what I'm saying? And now they kind of mess me up, because now they're about to, like, explode with content at this point. I haven't seen the last Spider-Man.
Yeah, me neither.
And that's the last one they made, right?
Last movie, yeah.
So, and then Black Widow hasn't come out yet. But they, like, once somebody said we should start calling it Panera, so that way.
There's so many things you can call it. You can call it a Panera, a Panini, a Panoramic.
So once Panera is chilling out, then I feel like they're just going to explode with these, and I don't know how I'm going to watch them all, but I'm going to try.
I'm going to try. I got the time for it, but I'm going to try.
Figure it out.
Well, and the thing is, that, like, for the longest time, like, I was not interested in any of the Marvel movies, probably up until Black Panther.
Really?
Yes. So, like, I watched at least the first 2 Iron Men. I watched...
Oh, Iron Man 2. Yes.
The first, like, rendition of Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. And I think
that was funny.
Yes. But when they did the first Hulk movie, and it was like, he didn't turn into the Hulk till like the last 20, 30 minutes.
What was the actor's name? Eric. What was the actor's name? Eric Bana, right?
Nolan? Was it Nolan?
No, Nolan was number 2. Nolan was actually good.
Okay. That first one, I remember sitting in the theater.
Wasn't Ed Norton?
Yes.
Ed Norton was the second one. Yeah. The first one was Eric Bana.
Yeah. So, like, I remember it. Like, I was at the movie theaters. My little brother was with me, and like, he fell asleep in the movie. And I'm sitting here like, this movie is not interesting.
I was not doing it.
I was not happy with it. So, like, I think I was kind of like put off with some of the superhero movies for a little bit until Black Panther. So, like, from since then, I've been wanting to like go back and like watch those from Iron Man and like stay to the end, past the credits to see the little intros for the next movies and all that stuff. Like I'm really enjoying that now. So it's a change for me.
Start that? Was that the start? Didn't they start that with X-Men actually? Those little Easter eggs like right at the end of the credits and stuff. You'd wait till because I feel like that wasn't always a thing.
The first one I saw,
I feel like that started with like the superhero movies.
I want to say it was It wasn't. No, it wasn't X-Men because the X-Men one you're thinking of wasn't technically after the credits. It was right before the credits. You're thinking of X-Men X2, X-Men United when they went back to Lake Alkali and you saw the Phoenix under the water. That was before the credits.
Right.
Now the one that was after the credits was X3, which
That's what I'm saying.
was
the ones who started that.
No, I think by then. I don't know. I don't know. But I don't think it was X-Men.
I don't know.
Somebody in the comments, Mo, look at the child. Look at the baby.
Hello.
Aw. Hey. You better enjoy them while they're that small. Because then they start talking back to you.
They start talking back to you when they start talking. What are you talking about?
Because like I've been dealing with this for years.
Right. Have you met my 8-year-old? Just pure sass and nothing, just complete ridiculousness. Like
I can't imagine where she might get it from.
So,
No.
can we respond to this really quick, Ricky? That's my cousin. Yeah, there's a bunch coming. Storm coming. Monica Rambeau coming. Yep. Those are the only ones that I know. But I know that what's his name? In DC, they got a lot of black comments in the DC. Black characters in the DC world. Like Idris Elba just joined. Journey Smollett is in DC.
Who's he?
The dude, I forget his name. It's Harry something. The dude who played Dresser in the 5 Heartbeats is gonna be the Martian Manhunter in the new Justice League. That's what they say. So
I'm all for like them expanding some movies and just like taking parts of the different lore and whatever. Like I'm all for it. Like I really enjoy all that, regardless of which one, Marvel, DC. DC has its whatever issues, but I'm down for it.
DC got the issues.
It does. Okay. It does. So that's it on what we're geeking out about. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. See you in a second.
Hi, I'm Jessalyn Pease Garrett, author of Timeless, The Law of the Coven, my new book that came out August 1st of this year. This is the second in the Timeless series, and it features a teenage witch. She's going to hone her magical abilities, and we're going to pit her against a dark coven of witches. So I hope you enjoy this book as much as I enjoyed writing it. Timeless, The Law of the Coven is available online from all your favorite retailers. Thanks, guys.
That was Rem Alternis presenting Shadowrun RPG games every Tuesday. That means tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. I'll be there. One of our Talk It Out regulars, Danny, will be there as well. He'll be the game master. And the other ad was this little Arthur we know.
You may have heard of her.
Well, you may have heard of her. And she wrote a book about a witch who is a time manipulator, which kind of leads us into our conversation tonight. So, without further ado, Ricky.
So, tonight's topic is Witches of Geekdom. I've been so excited to, get ready to talk about this. So, like I said earlier, I just, after been watching Witches of Easton, I'm like, we gotta talk about the witches. It's time. We gotta get to it. So, we're gonna talk about our favorite witches of movies, TVs, books, media, and like I'm so excited about this. So let's get started with, let's start it off easy with some books. Favorite witches and books. Yes.
Oh God.
I don't know a lot of book witches.
I'm gonna start with the Aes Sedai of the Wheel of Time.
Go ahead, Glenn.
You talking about this carousel with the flocks.
But they're amazing. Okay, so the witches in Wheel of Time, they're called Aes Sedai. It's spelled Aessedai.
That's a cool name. I'm not gonna flex. That's
all the words in like that, but in the series are like impossible.
That sounds really cool.
Just so everyone knows, you're gonna read this. If you ever read this series, which you should, just skip over the names. Honestly, because all of them are gonna just fuck you up. But the witches they're kind of amazing. The way that their powers are more or less limitless. They're more limited by like your own like the strength of your soul, I would say. Is kind of like what limits the strength and the bounds of your abilities. And it's really nice. It's really nice because they take a lot of different concepts of like witchcraft and then other spiritual like for example chakras are kind of like coded in there and things like that. So they take a lot of different spiritual and magical concepts and they kind of build them all together into one world. I don't know, they're kind of amazing. They're amazing. They're amazing. I'm gonna just leave it at that for now because I know we don't like to talk about it. Wheel of Time could honestly take.
I'll just give you a hard time because I don't know it and it makes me feel like insecure that I don't read that book.
What I love most about them is that they're kind of political. They're very political, I suppose.
Like the Wizard of Oz?
Yeah. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of like scheming and stuff on the background. They all have.
You mean the different kind of political.
Yeah, the little kind of political. Sorry. Yeah. Yes, no, it's more political and like it's more Game of Thronesy. You know, the way that they
like chess
maneuver and stuff. It's really really nice. Yeah, that and like one of my favorite things is just the way they organize themselves. Like they're their own seat of power in that universe versus like which is just being like the independent creatures that they usually are. So they kind of all band together and then each within that whole faction of witches they kind of like have their own levels of what they each do and stuff. So they're very concentrated in that way. I like that about them. They have like a purpose and stuff. So it's actually really funny. They're kind of like our real life politicians, you know what I mean? But they're in witch form. So that's what I found really interesting about it. Because they're supposed to be like their name is also servant of the people, and like they're like the seat of power. They're in that universe. Most other sovereignties like kind of bow down to them in a way, even though they themselves aren't too powerful because they have this thing called the three oaths, which are the only thing that kind of binds them. So they bind their powers by swearing on this oath rod that magically kind of limits them from doing more than they can with their powers, So
like to keep the
so
balance.
one of them is not to kill not to use the power to make any weapon to kill, not to use the power or make a weapon that will kill another man. You can only use it against to harm men. It's only good. You can only use it for like shadow spawn, for example. So like for evil, to fight evil and things like that. Another one is you're not allowed to lie, and then the third one is I can't actually remember, which is pretty terrible because there's only 3 of them. But
right.
You know what I mean? They have but that's how their powers are so much more limitless that this is how that they kind of limit them. Because I feel like that's always a big thing with like witches and like magic systems is whatever abilities they are granted, there always has to be some kind of balance. There always has to be some kind of limit to them. So
nice.
I'm gonna start with those. But yeah, I love their organization, the political scheming. It's awesome. They're awesome.
It reminds me.
I model my behavior after them a little bit sometimes. So
it reminds me of. Has anyone ever seen the Emerald City?
Yes. No.
Mm-mm.
No.
The Emerald City is this TV show that came out one season, and to me it was like.
It was about the Wizard of Oz. No.
Oh yeah, it was
like
incredible.
I remember hearing about it
because first of all, Vincent Dio. I'm gonna say his last name wrong, but I love the man. Everybody know who I'm talking about.
Really fast.
Vincent.
Was it on Sci-Fi?
No, it was on the NBC.
No. Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Vincent D'Onofrio. I hope I did it.
Nice try, cool.
I mean, hey, D'Onofrio. If I feel like it's one of those things you say real fast, Vincent D'Onofrio. He played the wizard. What I loved about that, because you talking about like the political and the party. So basically, the way it works is like the wizard represents science, and the witches represent magic, and the witches are all related. They're all from the witch mother, the mother. They always call her the mother. Of them, she had like 4. I guess her firstborn, which would have been north, south, east, and west.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
But every one of them were related. And they were also related to Oz, who was like the king of witches and magic. And when he was killed, his child was like disappeared. So there's an extra character named Ozma, who basically this woman is like hiding her by feeding her a potion every day and making her appear as a boy. And well, actually, it also suppressed her magic, so that because Ozma is a girl, so they're looking for this girl. And so basically, the spin on it to me that was really dope was like Glinda, who was the good witch, was good because Oz saw her as good, and she followed the law because she was the law, but she was actually incredibly corrupt.
Yeah.
The bad witch was bad because she was the witch of vices. She hung out in opium dens, but she was actually the crusader for the people and the witches and getting the witches back and all this other stuff. Like, so it was like this resistance. It was so like the way they spun everything and how they brought Dorothy in and how like they made her character. And Toto was a freaking German Shepherd. Dude,
Yeah.
if you go watch it if you haven't seen it, it's only one season and it book ends, so it's not one of these shows that like leaves you or like I think they knew that it was going to get canceled, but I'm so mad it got canceled. It never found its audience, but it's incredible. Go find it. The Emerald City.
I remember that one.
My favorite incarnation of the Wicked Witch of the West is her.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the actress who played her killed.
I've got one.
Yes. Go ahead.
Duryea, you've read Janet Ivanovich, right? Yes. So
I haven't read all her stuff though.
Okay, so she has it's like the Wicked series. So I think
with the 7 Deadly Sins.
Yes, with the 7 Deadly Sins.
Yes.
I love Lizzie. I think that it's a really fun thing too because the magic isn't like crazy magic.
Right.
Like it is very like she can sense things about the stones. Like
you mean the main character?
Yes, the main character. Basically, she's the only one that can find these stones that represent the 7 deadly sins because she can feel these vibrations.
Yes.
She's also a total kitchen witch because she makes these like beautiful like pastries and baker. So I would definitely classify her as a kitchen witch. Yeah. But yeah, it's really fun and in Janet Ivanovich like style, like very funny. You have these other characters like one that really wants to be a witch, so she like walks around with a broom and like talks to the broom, like very much larger than life character.
Who's your favorite between the two dudes, the darker one or the good guy who's like all burly?
I like Diesel.
Diesel, yes, me too.
But I like Diesel because he was also in the Stephanie Plum series in some of the.
Was he?
There's the In Between the Numbers, which is books that came out obviously in between the like one for the
right.
And those are Diesel novels. Anytime like it's an in between, Diesel comes in. So I like Diesel before.
I like Diesel.
So I really like that. I do have one more, and it's kind of obscure. But I remember reading this when I was a teenager, and the series starts with Blue is for Nightmares, and it's by Lori Faria Stolars, and I hope I'm saying that right. But it's 5 books, and it features this woman, Stacey Brown, and she's a young Wiccan with psychic powers. And why I love it is because it actually touches on modern day witchcraft. So it's again not like this crazy spellbinding stuff, but she uses like real candle magic, real herbal magic to like manifest these spells, which I think is really beautiful because she's a really cool witch. Also like a teenager. I like a good teenage witch. But again, it's just like very realistic magic that other people could manifest if they wanted to.
If anything, it's much closer to like magic of today. You know
what I mean? Yeah, so
it's less fantasy and like more connected to like your real life witchcraft.
Yeah, so it's like real magic, not fake magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question to everybody: which do you prefer, in your fantasy stuff? Like, do you? Because I feel like
honestly, a mix of both.
Okay.
Because
Yeah, I think it depends.
That's what I really love about certain magic systems. Like, for example, the magicians, we're going to get to at some point, but like theirs is very mathematically based, you know, and things like that. It makes it seem more real, you know. That's why I enjoy the fantasy of things, but like give me real metaphysics, you know, like that. Like, obviously they're not so, it doesn't have to be 100%. There's always going to be some kind of pitfall or some, you know, somewhere,
right.
But you know, the more it's based in something real, the more real it feels, at least, especially when you're, you know, when you start to create that fantasy around it.
I also love a good, like, Charmed, though. Like, give me Charmed any day. I like a good Charmed or Willow, but, like, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I like some.
But Charmed is weird because Charmed is, like, they do, like, actually do Wiccan things on Charmed.
They do.
But then they'll spin it. That's what I like about Charmed is because so that they didn't disrespect Wiccans, they differentiated between Wiccans and what they were. Because there was this one episode where they were charged to protect
Wiccans are like the religion of witchcraft.
Right. And so they different.
Not always. Like paganism is like usually the religion
based around
but
witchcraft.
You've got all these different facets. So witchcraft is like an act, whereas like the religion around it would be like being a Wiccan or a pagan, you know, that kind of thing.
They had this one episode where the sisters were supposed to protect this innocent, and the innocent didn't have like powers like them, but she was a practicing Wiccan, like that was her, you know. But she taught them. Remember, they weren't raised that way. So she was the one schooling them on, just use this herb and blah, 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 boop. That's what I really liked about them. Like, somebody on the set was doing some research somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And I like that. So that way, if you were to question it, you're like, well, you know, they're just different. Because they have these actually, like, magical, fantastical powers. So since we're on Charmed, can we go there? Right? Yeah, Rakia?
Oh, I can talk about what my book.
Your book, right. Rakia look like she read books. Don't she look like she read books?
Shut up.
I'm sorry, don't we all look like
Are you typecasting her because she's got glasses on?
Exactly. Yeah,
he's like,
we all read books, but we don't wear glasses.
Golly. Anyway, so I've mentioned this before on the show, but one of my favorite books with witches was called the Sweet series by Kate Tiernan, a girl who finds out she's adopted and finds out that she comes from a powerful coven of witches, and it's just she's learning about the witchcraft and falls in love with the guy who's also a witch, and he turns out to be bad and finds another guy and like talks about soulmates and all this other stuff. I loved that series. Don't be like that.
No, I love that you loved it that much.
I did. Like, if I could find all the books in the series, because I don't think I completed it, I would sit and read it again. I would totally read it again. Because it's definitely one of those coming-of-age stories. Yeah. Like, because the character, she's, like, super, like, awkward and, like, you know, kind of homebody. And then, like, she finds her niche, and she starts to blossom and grow into herself as while she's growing into her powers and just learning about herself. And it's one of those things you kind of have to like really enjoy when you're a young girl, especially when you're like a preteen. It's kind of like finding your way. So it's one of those series that I've always enjoyed. So the series is called Sweep by Kate Tiernan. A lot of like very much like the pagan, like Irish type of realm of
Celtic magic.
Yeah, very Celtic. Yes, yeah. And it was so good.
Like a lot of runes and things like that.
Yeah,
and stuff. Yeah. I love that. I appreciate that about certain like stories. Like they'll take it's not like your run of the mill magic. Sometimes they'll kind of focus on like certain things, certain parts, certain schools, certain areas that have developed their own magics and things like that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So they have different kind.
Okay, so do we want to talk about movies or TVs next?
I'm gonna do a really quick plug for Wheel of Time again. Sorry guys, Nynaeve is the character. For everyone who knows Wheel of Time, Nynaeve is it. I'm sorry. Nynaeve. Okay, her name is
That's
Nynaeve.
a cool name,
Her character development is A+, stellar. She's fucking powerful. She's amazing. She does all these things that were thought impossible, but she just does them because, well, mostly out of instinct, but it's just more of like, these things can be done. These things can be done if you try, if you look, if you think outside of the box. These things can be done. So, and like that was really nice. That I appreciated about her. And because like she was, you were just talking before about how like certain witches use like different herbs and things like that, and like and all that stuff kind of like technically goes into witchcraft, but like a lot of fantasy doesn't usually expound on some of those things like potions and stuff like that. But like she herself by trade was like a herb healer of like the village, but then later on she finds out that she's been using magic along with like her regular remedies and stuff. So it's like it kind of combined that in with it as well. So that's why I say like they take a lot of different magic concepts and like put them all together, but they're coded without being so obviously those things. You just gotta have to look for them. So it's nice. But yeah, that's why.
If I ever need to get you a gift, I'm really just gonna go to Etsy and type in Wheel of Time.
Oh my god, anything on
right.
Wheel of Time. Oh my god,
I just know. Like,
I was just saying, like literally today, maybe or yesterday morning, I can't remember, but like the fan art that has come out because they're gonna be doing the series by next year sometime, hopefully this year, hopefully by the end of this year, we'll see, because like Corona kind of put everything on. Well, that the
whole life.
Pandaria put everything on hold for like for a year. So
the panorama.
The panorama, exactly. So put everything on hold for a little while, so they haven't been able to film because originally it was scheduled to come out this year, but maybe next year, we'll see, or at the end of this year. Nonetheless, it's going to be coming to like Amazon Prime. It's going to be big. It's going to be popular. Whatever the hell. So like,
it's going to be popping. All right,
but,
Cardi.
Like, because
right,
it's coming out, the fan art has been so nice. The fan art that has like come out has been so nice. And just the other day, I saw this one. Like he drew this one character, and it's all in the little details. Like her name is like her name is Lanfear, which means like daughter of the moon or something like that. And she's everything about her is very much that. So she wears all white. She's got like really dark hair. Her skin is super super pale but flawless. And she wears and she's decked out in silvers as the accent. So you can kind of like see the picture and stuff. But like just some of the details in the artwork that has been coming out has been so nice. Like in her hair, there's stars and there's a moon and like the galaxy. I was just like, bitch, yes. And it's so small that you don't even see it. You don't even see it until like you're looking. I love it. I love that stuff. So like, yeah, on Etsy, because that's why I say, because if you like type in Etsy and like Wheel of Time, you're gonna get all this like new stuff, or even like on Instagram, you're gonna find all these new things, because it's coming out, a lot of people are connecting with it a lot more, and they're like the fan art, the fan stories, all of it, love it. So I love that it's coming out.
Okay, so elephant in the room, Harry Potter.
Okay, yes.
We're not going to talk about... I'm sorry. Can we not talk about Harry Potter? Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I don't want to talk about Harry Potter.
It has to be mentioned at least once. It has to be mentioned.
I get it, but this is how I feel about it, because somebody was talking today, and they said, ooh, wouldn't it be cool if there was a series starring Adam Driver as young Snape?
Yeah, I saw that.
As young Snape, talking about like how he ended up... started as a Death Eater and then ended up defecting, to Dumbledore's army. And I was like... I'm not doing nothing else that puts money into that woman's pocket.
Like
another thing.
Like honestly, I can like I haven't watched the
Fantastical Beasts.
Yeah, I haven't watched that. Like I'm okay with that, and like I'm okay with not watching anything else related to it. But like, just it's hard to
Johnny Depp
to have to reconcile that.
It is hard. It was such a huge part of my childhood. Like
everybody's.
I read the book when it came out. Like, so I like to just pretend that they were just plopped onto the earth. And then
look, if you already have the book, don't burn the book. Like, why do that? Like, if you already have it, keep it, like kind of stuff like that. But I'm saying, like, I'm not going to do anything that's going to put more, because to me, it's like, I know it's a drop in the bucket. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like, when you really think about what that supports, like, her having that money gives her the platform to say what she says as loudly as she says it, you know? And it really sucks for those kids that aren't, cisgender, men and women who are going to read that or hear that. Because now it's not like when we were kids. Like J.K. Rowling said some stuff like that when we were kids. It was like nobody cared or heard because there was no Twitter when Harry Potter was coming out. But now little kids are on freaking Twitter. And so like, and you know how it is to feel like you're something that is not acceptable, whether it's like, oh, you're not supposed to have big ears or you wear weird clothes, your mom doesn't pay a lot of money, you know, whatever. You hear that and you might not express it.
We're all old school geeks, of course we know.
Right. And you might not say it out loud, but then you hear somebody else saying it, and even if they don't say it to you. So that's why I'm not a proponent of it, but there's some badass witches that I feel like, yes, you can.
That's really the sad part is that, like, you know, she did create something that
was epic.
That was epic, you know.
Hermione Granger.
Hermione Granger's my bitch.
Hermione
Granger. It's
and
so
thank goodness for those actors who are saying something about that woman's behavior, because that makes it at least bearable. Because it sucks for them too. Because a lot of those actors, their entire personas are like so heavily attached to those characters. Yeah. Thank God for Daniel Radcliffe doing the good work. Hey, fuck this hoe. Nah, we ain't about that. Exactly. Like, I'm so glad that he said that and is vocal about it, especially because he's straight.
Yeah, he did do Equus.
That don't mean nothing. Equus isn't the gay thing. He did something else that he did a movie where he did a movie that he like straight up was getting down in, but he's straight. So I think it's nice that as a cisgender straight man, and he's like, hey, that's not cool. Yeah, I appreciate that.
I think it's funny that like we, as far as like literature, brought up witchcraft that wasn't so fantastical. As,
what do you mean?
So like, I feel like the things that we've mentioned as far as like the witches that we'd like to read are different from Harry Potter. I feel like Harry Potter wasn't so much based on like a lot of our witches that we've mentioned are more into a lot of like different like heritage and like based on like
Harry Potter is a little bit more like
fantastical.
Yeah. Fantastical.
Well, like her own magic. She like created something new.
Right.
Which is why I think when you do magic and when you do magic, there's two types of ways you can do it, right? You can do the J.K. Rowling way where you have to create this entirely new thing. But to do that, you have to be so thorough. Mm-hmm. You have to be patient. You have to be consistent.
Yes.
Because a lot of I think she would take words that were based in familiar etymology and then, you know, play with them ridiculous, like that kind of stuff. Like, we get what ridiculous, like
Wingardium Leviosa.
Right. We get it. Like, you would play with words. We got that. But then it was all about like the other stuff that she put into it, especially the whole idea of the entire world and how it functioned. Mm-hmm. And like, it was. I don't know how old I was when I realized that this woman, Abracadabra, was the curse to kill people.
Yeah. Avada Kedavra?
I know, that's what she did. She did that. I think she did that intentionally. Because when you think about magic, Abracadabra, like Avada Kedavra, like, yo, she did that intentionally. She's like, I'm going to make like, that's why people don't say it, because it's the curse. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think, because you do that when you're creating worlds. You like to play and flip stuff around. Like,
yeah.
But I think if you don't do it that way, then you have to base it in some sort of like truth and culture and religion, which makes it more real to us as the audience.
Right.
Agreed.
So we're going to take a small commercial break, and we're going to talk some more about our favorite witches of geekdom.
Okay. Ooh.
We are counting down the days to closing out the beautiful Frasier. And one of the things that I really love about our projects, because we named them, we built character, they're almost like your little baby, and you're ready to present it to the world. And one of the things where you look at the little details, and then we start to nitpick, and then before you know it, a few weeks turns into a few months, and before you know it, your project is prolonged more than you thought, just for the little details. But one of the things you have to do is just breathe, relax, and trust the process. Know that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. And as long as you stay in committed action each day, you will ultimately get to completion. These things and more, we help investors get their start in real estate investing. So contact us, visit us at itchjessicamyers.com to learn how you can get your start today.
That was new music from ACA. I love seeing black folks doing rock music. I love it. And it's kind of like that's a bop for me because I grew up in the 90s. So I'm like, I love that. And the other ad was from itsjessicamyers.com. They do real estate investments. She just did an $8 million deal with Hilton Hotel and built a hotel. And I know.
Oh, hell yeah.
I asked her for $5. You know what she said? I said, you just did an $8 million deal with Hilton? Let me get $5. She said, you must not have heard. I just spent $8 million. You give me $5. I was like, no.
I owe you that hotel.
I was like, no, right. That's where my money at. Anyway, all right. Go ahead, Ricky. You got it.
Oh, man. Okay, so we've talked about our favorite witches in our books. So let's talk about the favorite witches in our... I feel like we can talk forever about the witches in our TV shows.
Can we just lump them together?
We could. Let's do that. So we'll do some...
So I have a thing that I want to do, and if y'all would let me. So the other day, I was on the internet, and I came across this comprehensive list of witches. And they're all pictures. And so I figured maybe we could like flip through the photo album and just talk about the ones we see.
Yeah.
This way you could cover a lot.
Name them and let's go.
Right. Okay. Well, so let me share the screen. Okay.
Yeah, because TV and movie witches, I feel like, are a lot at this point.
Yeah.
All right. So this is, I don't know who this one is, but this is Ketsia.
Yes.
Ketsia. This one is one of my favorite witches. Rowena is one of my favorite. Let me switch something so we get. Let me see if I can do it like that. I don't know this shit because I don't want to. Because can you get the thing out the face? Because I don't want the thing in Jess's face.
Oh, take off that.
Yeah. There we go. Yes, that's Rowena. I don't know who this one is. Rowena to me is one of the best witches of all.
Oh, she's damn cool. And
everything about her magic is so dope.
Yes.
Rowena from where, though? Rowena from where?
Oh, supernatural.
Okay.
She's literally the strongest witch on the planet.
Yeah.
Ever. That has ever lived. And, okay, this is one of the incarnations of the Wicked Witch of the West, but this is the one from...
Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time.
Mm-hmm.
Rosa Gowan shows up on this list the most. I'm sorry, go ahead, Jessica.
Is she from... Are we Paige here, or are we...
That is Cora.
Once Upon a Time. That's Cora. Yes.
That's Cora.
Okay.
She shows up the most on this list, and so identifying who she is every time is really fun.
I love it.
I don't know who these other two are. If anyone
so one of the last one on the end is Esther Michelson from.
That's not Esther.
That is to Esther.
That's not Esther.
That is Esther.
I can't.
I'll give you. That don't look like Esther.
That looks like Esther. Yes. That is Esther Michelson.
I won't fight it. Because either way, she deserves a mention. So
yeah.
Does anyone know who the top right one is?
Top right.
She
her?
looks familiar.
So familiar, but I can't point it out.
No,
she does look really familiar.
I don't know who she's been the witch for, but right now it's not covered.
Is this the girl from the new Craft?
Me? No.
She looks familiar too. I'm sorry that we can't. No, we don't know you. We don't recognize you. We know who this page is. We know who this page is.
Okay,
yes.
These are the charmed ones. Who's your favorite?
Piper.
The charmed ones. Oh, there's Sabrina.
I love Piper. My favorite is Paige, but
I love Paige.
I love all of them.
Yeah.
My least favorite is Phoebe.
My little sister loves Phoebe. Not that I love Phoebe. My hard favorite.
Really? I love Phoebe.
It's a lot.
I designed my sister her own deck of tarot cards using fan art from Charms. So she has a Charmed tarot deck card.
Shut up.
I'm so jelly.
I'm jealous. Give it to me.
This is Dark Sabrina. Now, if there's one witch that exists that I absolutely hate and cannot stand and wish they had never created, it is Hope motherfucking Michelson. Hope Michelson did everything I would hate to happen for a show was Hope Michelson.
She's
if you haven't seen the way the originals ends,
no. Hope has nothing to do with Buffy. Hope is part of the Vampire Diaries universe. So she's not really a witch. She's a tribrid. She's a tribrid.
No, she's not a tribrid because if she becomes a hybrid, she loses her witch powers.
That's true. So she has the werewolf gene. She is born of witch. She has a witch gene, and she's
a werewolf witch.
Yes,
she did get turned. She did get
but
turned.
She does have the. She does have. She could have. No, I guess she doesn't necessarily have the vampire.
Because you have to die to become a vampire, and once you die, you lose your witch powers.
Right.
Once you're disconnected from the earth. Once you're undead. Wolverines. Werewolves are still alive in this world.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Ooh. I don't know who this CW girl is. Who is this?
One. I'm sorry. What's her face?
Who is this?
American Horror Story Coven, right?
Cordelia.
Cordelia.
That's the name. Yes, Cordelia.
Oh, you mean her?
Yes.
Cordelia, of course, the Supreme Cordelia.
Yes.
I did not expect. I did not think it was going to be her. I thought it was going to be Emma Roberts.
Yeah, but I'm happy it was Cordelia.
I'm happy it was Cordelia. That was the best.
So happy.
That was the best.
Although Jessica Lange Jessica Lange and then Angela Bassett. I'm sorry, American Horror Story Coven was my.
You know that Jessica Lange said that was her least favorite season?
So sad.
She said that was her least favorite season.
I've heard people say like that Coven wasn't as good as people say it is because there was so much hype for it. But I enjoyed it. I loved it.
Well, her reasoning, I mean, I can see why as an actor she chose what she said. What she said was basically, I felt like that was the one season where my character didn't change. She didn't have like a growth and evolution. Okay. She was the same, which is a personal choice. Which I can't knock her for, but as a fan, that was the only season
That's the only season I saw. I'm sorry, American Horror Story. I watched Coven the whole way through. I watched Hotel.
Roanoke is damn good too.
I didn't watch Roanoke.
After that, I was
I need to watch that one.
Roanoke's one of those ones you have to get through like the reality show part. I bet.
No, it's my favorite season.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Roanoke, you know they're coming back.
Where's that name from? Why do I feel like that's a
Roanoke is the name of a lost city. It's actually the name of an actual city, but the old
yeah, I'm pretty sure
it's like when they first got
I'm like, this sounds familiar.
Yeah, basically they all disappeared and they have no idea where all those people went. They just kind of vanished without a trace.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
We can't forget to talk about these. This page has some of the best witches on it. Regina, who sexiest, okay, short hair, long hair, updo, a fabulous. Right, all that. Look at just her right here. Just look at her serving with the furrowed brow. Vincent, who actually annoyed the hell out of me, but I was glad.
I love Vincent.
But he always got bucked. That's why, like, his character was always like whining about something that I didn't care about. But when it came time to like, he had the magic hands.
What I loved about Vincent from the originals was that he had so much finesse.
Yes. He did.
He had so much finesse. He was like, at the first glance, I wouldn't necessarily think he's cute, but the way he starts doing spells and he does this weird like thing with his hand, like
some people are really good at good casters versus but
he had so much finesse. And
look at him right there in the picture.
Yes,
that's how you
he's thinking about something. Oh my god,
right? Fantasy when they were younger.
Yes.
I feel like they always act it much better. You know what I
They
mean?
did.
They're in it. I love it.
They did better justice for the witch lore in the originals than they did for Vampire Diaries, and like it makes me so sad. But like,
I disagree.
Because you guys rave about Vampire Diaries all the time.
I disagree. Me and Rickey disagree with that. Rickey's more into, as far as I'm concerned, there is one witch and one witch only that lives in like, I don't even rank her against the rest because she is just in her own wheelhouse of witch, and that is this young lady right here,
Miss Bonnie Bennett.
Bonnie Bennett, because she's done what she had to do. This is the difference between her and mostly every other witch. She didn't have a teacher. Her grandmother was there for her, but she discovered she was a witch, and maybe 6 months later, her grandmother was dead.
Yeah.
So she had to teach herself everything she knew about magic, and she was able to do stuff that no other magic person could do on her own. She had no one guiding her. She had no heritage to like. All she had was a book. So
what I will say is that is very much modern witchcraft these days. I don't want to tell you what to do. You just got.
Dude, she brought herself back from death and the netherworld. She was the ish. And this is the girl. I think her name was. What was her name? Do you remember her name from The Craft?
Oh shoot! What's her name?
She was the version that I like. She is the epitome of stand up to bullies. Period.
Yeah. So my thing was back to the Vampire Diaries and like the originals, but like my thing is like like there's so much that they could have done with Bonnie Bennett, where they built the entire universe around her heritage and her family's magic. Like there's no denying that, and if you don't know that, then like you haven't been paying attention. But I felt like they took more time with
because it was about Elena.
I get that, but when you're putting so much like of your folklore, your supernatural folklore on this one girl and her one family, it deserves to have
more
explored more. Whereas they put a little bit more details in the original as far as like the New Orleans witches. I feel like they gave them more care.
Well, the difference was the originals was an ensemble show, and Vampire Diaries was never meant to be. Once it was, I think actually it was better when Elena wasn't there. But so this is the next page. What do y'all think? Do y'all recognize any of these people?
Oh my god, I love the witches. The old,
there's
old
Rose McGowan again.
witches.
Dark
Yeah,
Willow.
yes, Angelica
And Dark
Houston.
Willow. Yes, absolutely.
This page has some good witches. Okay, so this is Rose McGowan's second appearance. This is as the evil enchantress from Charmed.
Yes.
Right. This is Wyatt.
Yep.
Who in his world was the most powerful. I guess he was the most powerful being ever created. But this is evil Wyatt.
Yep. It's not good, Wyatt.
It's funny. This whole
You
row
tell the
is
haircut.
like
like 90 shows.
Dark.
No, the dark versions of characters.
Yeah.
This whole row. This is Silas.
Silas, yes. Also
created
No, he didn't create it.
He didn't create it.
So Ketsia created the immortality spell for her and Silas, but Silas was a jackass, and if you
But technically, Silas isn't a witch.
No, he's a traveler. He's a traveler, which is still magic, but not like
they're more like
more
gypsies.
like a magic creature.
not spirit magic, because Bennett's were spirit magic, and then travelers were something different.
No, it's like witches are like guardians of nature in Vampire Diaries. Travelers are similar to what gypsies, essentially. But they didn't want to use that word, so they called them travelers.
Do they still
But like even like in the
They do use magic, but it's not the same type of magic. That's why he needed a witch to create the immortality spell, because he couldn't do it. His magic couldn't do it.
Okay, so who we got here?
We got Hermione.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think this is the lady from Salem.
Okay, so Salem, I forgot about that. Salem is you gotta take some time to really get into. It's very, very dark. But I enjoyed Salem.
Can we talk about her?
I hate Billy and Christy so much.
Jessa. Now, I didn't mind Billy so much.
She was okay.
I didn't mind Billy because I was like, oh, this is cute. It served the plot. This is Billy, and this is her sister, Christy. Billy, now, to me, the reason I didn't like Billy was that she was way too powerful. Like, the Charmers are supposed to be the most powerful witches of all time.
I
And
feel
you
like she
gave
got on so fast to everything. She's like, oh yeah, here's how I scry like this and do this.
Right, and then there's her.
Oh my
This
God.
neurotic ass, crazy. I know. I don't think there's anybody in Charmed history who likes
I've
this
never
character.
hated anyone.
I can't think of anybody. So no one was sad when what happened to her happened to her. Everybody
However,
was
right
great
below her is one of my favorite witches.
of all time.
So amazing.
Period.
So amazing.
Period.
She's like Stardust. She is like the queen witch.
Oh wait, we're talking about Michelle Pfeiffer? Yes, she's the last one,
okay.
bottom right.
Why can Michelle Pfeiffer do no wrong?
She can do
I'm so
everything.
sick of her.
Guys,
doing
she's like
everything
amazing.
amazingly. Like quit it.
I'm sorry, but when she was this witch, she was like, she was so badass.
I thought I got enough of her with
Catwoman.
Catwoman.
She was like, ooh,
She's just
yes,
a witch.
girl. Ooh,
Maybe she
yes,
is a
girl.
witch, and that's herself. She's just amazing.
Like Catwoman did something to me like nobody can tell me look, Catwoman to me was Oscar worthy.
Yeah.
No lie. I would have given her Oscar like,
Yeah.
bruh, she was licking herself. Legit. And I believe
And I lived for every moment of it.
this woman thinks she's a cat. This woman, she's not crazy, thinks she's a cat.
Every
She
moment.
right. And then you got the nerve to wait like almost 10 plus years and come out with some shit like this and then make me forget about Catwoman for about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
yeah.
because you're amazing. P.S.
How
I watched
dare
her
you?
Yesterday.
How dare you? Did y'all see her in Midnight Train to Georgia? That's not the movie. What's the movie where she's on the train? Murder on the Orient Express.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer, go away.
I've never seen her in something I didn't like her in, you know?
That's what I'm tired of her for. Like, it's like she come out with a movie, I'm like, I'm not gonna see that shit. I'm tired of her. Like, she go away, she will disappear, then be like, whoopsie.
I'm back. Guess what? I'm back, and I still look amazing.
First of all, I look good.
Like, oh, girl, love it.
What do we have? These are the witches from Witches of East End.
Yes, you have Ingrid, Freya, Joanna, and Wendy.
Okay, so this is the mother that I was telling you about. These are her two daughters, Jenna Dewan, and I forget her name. And this is the sister that turns into a cat.
Yes.
Really good story, beautiful ladies, beautiful actors. I have no clue who this is, but I really want to know.
Right.
I thought it was Rita.
Cool outfit.
I thought it was Rita at first, because technically Rita is a witch.
Yes. Quick question. Would we consider Morticia Adam a witch?
I never saw her do magic. The grandmother's a witch.
Yeah. I think she embodies the persona of a witch. If we want to get down to archetypes, she is like the archetype of a witch.
Wouldn't she be more vampiric?
Maybe.
Well, you're talking about like she is a woman who is powerful on her own.
Okay.
And she also majored in spells and hexes, so she is a witch.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, her mom's a witch, technically. I mean,
that's true.
Sense.
The only issue I have with this list is that it only lists her.
Oh.
But, yeah, I know. Clearly, she's the most powerful of the three. However, they clearly are a trio. Because Sarah sings the songs, Mary smells them out, and she does the whippy snatch. Okay?
Right.
So, like, would you rather be Winifred? Like,
I mean,
listen,
like,
do you know that was my favorite part of like when she was like playing with him, like he was like a toy, like right, just like having fun. I said, "Ooh, magic."
I'm sorry, but like, not Sarah.
Mary,
like her comedic timing.
Oh God, yeah.
Love the actress. Number one.
Wait,
they played well off of each other. They played really well. Not
Jimmy. Yeah, she was excellent. Like, funny thing, like my son wanted to watch it recently, so like we ended up watching it. I'm like, I always enjoyed Mary. Like Mary is always my favorite to me because the comedic timing was perfect.
Oh, she's wonderful.
Now,
do a great job.
If the Hocus Pocus had been made today, let me tell you what the plot twist would have been. Remember that it was. This is my version of it, my fanfic. Since we like fanfic, remember the scene where the girlfriend took the salt and they called her a white witch? Yeah. That would be the twist.
Yeah,
that would be the twist. Yes, somewhere in there. But that's just to be because they're coming out with a sequel, and you know, witches are the thing now. So,
although a black candle is
your
a
idea.
thing, just so everyone knows.
All right, so I know y'all don't know who this is unless you're a Charmed fan. I know you know, Jess. This is Melinda Warren. She is the matriarch of the Charmed line. She actually was the one who had all three powers. She could see into the future, where she had premonition. She could stop time, or she could manipulate time, and she could move things with her mind. And when she was burned at the stake, she prophesied. She's basically like, okay, my descendants are going to be the three most powerful witches of all time, and they'll create the power of three, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. Now, just since I think there's no more Charmed on here, the other Charmed witches are not on the list, which I think is shady.
Wait,
I don't think they're on the list.
There's a number of witches that didn't make it on this list. So.
Well, but they're not on the list. It's a little shady. I don't like the one thing I don't like. Spoiler alert! In the new Charmed, there is more than one power of three. There's more than one trio of sisters. It's like Buffy. Mm-hmm. So it's more like every generation there's a new power of three.
Yeah.
I like it because they're trying intentionally to do something. I like that about it.
Different. They're trying to separate themselves from the original.
But to me, like, that's what made it a thing. But then it's also scary now because the thing about the Charmed was that they were it. These ones aren't it, so they can go. That's the whole thing hanging over their head. It's like you make one step wrong and then you're out of here.
Someone else will do it.
Tia Tamara, Twitches. Yeah. This is the witch from Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah.
The witch hunter, yes. Yeah. And we all know who this is.
Right.
We were just talking about her.
I know her.
I'm mad at Angela Bassett.
She did a round.
Not yet. This is a very long. I don't even think we're gonna get to the end of it. But
girl,
that's okay.
There's
so I can't remember her name, but she was also on the original. She was married to Vincent, but then they used her body to put Rebecca's soul.
Yep, you're absolutely right. That is who that is. Thank you. Okay, that is Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe.
Yes, the White Witch.
I'm not sure who these are. This is one of the witch. This is Tawatha.
Yeah, she's really cool.
Yeah,
Snake. I can't watch Snake on a screen, and I can't watch this episode because of that. It's just
because really.
That's an old twin.
I kind of just have this little thing where I twitch when I watch the Snake.
Is that an Olsen twin? It does look like an Olsen twin. I can't think of when she played a witch.
Beauty and the Beast.
This is the witch queen from. This right here is the witch queen from The Last Witch Hunter.
Oh,
that is a good freaking movie.
I love her.
That was a good.
You love her look?
Yeah, she's.
Have you never seen The Last Witch Hunter, Jessa?
Wasn't that with
Jessa? You're gonna love that movie. Go see it.
Cage?
It's let me check. No, it was Vin Diesel. It's so cool the way they do the witchcraft in that movie is fucking epic. Period. Mary-Kate Olsen from
That is
Beastly.
Mary-Kate Olsen.
Yes. So this was it was the reincarnation of reboot of Beauty and the Beast with Vanessa Hudgens
the TV show.
No, the movie.
Okay.
The show, but
so there was one on the CW based.
That was with the girl from Smallville, Kristen Kriuk.
Yes, but Mary-Kate was in the one with the movie with Vanessa Hudgens.
I love the Olsen twin. I love the Olsens. Now let me tell you what I grew up on. What's that movie? It Takes Two.
Yes.
I prefer It Takes Two to The Parent Trap all day, every day.
Yes.
I literally have no clue who anybody on this page is except for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right. That is that's not Elsa. That's the Ice Queen from. It's Elsa's auntie from Once on This Island. Once Upon a Time. This is Grams from Charmed. This is Bonnie Bennett's great grandmother. She's the one who created the vampire curse.
Yes.
Ooh.
But then she didn't actually implement the vampire curse. The mother took it. And this is one of Bonnie Bennett's other ancestors, which was, do you remember her name?
Oh, Emily Bennett.
Emily Bennett. And this is Bianca Lawson, the one we were talking about, who always pops up in the supernatural stuff.
Who is forever young.
Forever young, literally.
Forever young.
There she goes.
There she is.
Angela
This is the ethnic page.
Yes, girl.
Now, this is the girl from Scream Queens, but I don't remember her playing a witch in anything.
Isn't she the new Supreme in the new season of?
I don't know.
Wait, American Horror Story revamped Coven? Stop.
Yeah, in Apocalypse.
Another one?
Apocalypse. They come back in Apocalypse.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I like being spoiled. I actually do like being spoiled.
But things I need to do because I haven't watched most of the installments after Coven, to be perfectly honest. So
it comes back in. It's Coven and Murder House, right?
Yeah.
That come back in Apocalypse.
Because they don't. Of course, with they don't all connect, but they're supposed to be doing some where they are connected to another.
Okay.
Yeah. This one really you don't get the connection until way later in the season. Mm-hmm. I'm so sorry. I did not.
It's okay.
No,
it's okay.
That's awesome. I'm gonna come. I have to watch that. What are you talking about?
So this is what's her name? What's her name in the?
Mary Laveau.
Marie Laveau, yes.
Marie Laveau.
I don't know who this is, but she's beautiful, and this is one of Bonnie Bennett's relatives as well.
Yes.
Can you remember the name, Rakia?
I can't remember the name, but I know that she's in the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
She plays Rosalind.
She plays Rosalind. Yes, that's Rosalind.
Her friend.
Now, what I know her from is that crazy ass movie when she stole Morris Chestnut and Regina King's baby. She was playing the surrogate mother of the baby, and then she was carrying the baby. It was their baby though. But she fell in love with the husband and was trying to hold the baby hostage. Good movie.
What movie was that?
When the Bow Breaks.
Oh God,
I think I've seen this one.
And then you've got Lady Gaga. Hang on, wait.
Lady Gaga, my bad.
That was Lady Gaga.
That is Lady Gaga.
Yes,
girl.
girl.
From Roanoke. American Horror Story.
Stephanie Giamatti right there.
Oh, shut up, Rakia. Get your glasses on.
Whatever.
She looks amazing.
Yeah.
All right, let's give some love to the throwback witches.
Yeah.
I feel like these are all from Bewitched. I don't know why. I don't know.
Yes, Bewitched is on my list. I love Bewitched.
I think you have to give props to
the whole
Bewitched.
Series for for a hot second.
You have to. Because it was the only TV show on like that. That was, I think it was like, that was after Munsters and Addams Family.
Or is it Adora?
Yeah, it was after Munsters.
Endora, I think it is.
Endora.
Mm.
These are
my favorite.
Jessa, who these is?
Well, they are the charmed ones, but they've been taken over by, is it the other sisters?
No, this is the one where they had to, this is the season when Gideon was trying to kill Wyatt.
Oh, yes, the evil versions. Okay, I feel you.
So there's a universe where everything was inverted. So where evil was dominant and the charmed ones were demons, and then witches were like in the underworld and all that stuff like that. And this is that version of them. That's her third appearance, by the way.
Yeah. Her fourth. No, it's her fourth.
Okay, so
is there a fourth? She got another one too. Yeah. Don't know. Oh, yes,
her. Now.
That's Endor. Yes. Now this girl right here, this woman right here.
Yes.
I hated her literally all the way up until her final episode.
Dude, she is so powerful, and like she is an example of like weird, but like sex magic. That is like sex magic. That is her. Like she is like personifying that and like making that a thing. Like she is oof.
That's the top one, right?
That's
Game of Thrones.
Yes.
That's what's her name. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
I loved the role she played in the final. Like it was
honestly the whole way through.
Honestly, it took me. I didn't understand her character until that episode.
Yeah.
I didn't understand her character until that episode, until the last episode that she was in with the Battle of the Night King, and then everything she did like that. I was like, oh, that's why you've been doing this stuff the whole time.
I think that was glorious thing about it because I don't think she even knew. You get me, like her character herself
didn't really know. Following the spirit guide, right? Like the universe, her fire god.
She's just following her, the feelings of stuff.
And it was very much about that, like, I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do for everybody. But it didn't seem that way to me because it seemed very destructive. But then when she did that, it's like, oh, you really were just, because you thought you were leading yourself. Like, that's what you were doing. You brought Jon Snow back, and he's the one who ended up doing what he did to save the kingdom. Debatable.
I rewrote all of that in my mind. The last one was different in my mind than how it was.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Absolutely. We should have that. Oh, we are going to have that episode, by the way. You have to have it. And you are more than welcome to come back for that episode, Jessica. You already know.
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't know who the bottom right one is on that last page, but her hairdo is amazing.
This? Yeah. That is cute. I bet those are pieces, though.
Yes. Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah.
He wants them, doesn't matter.
Look, if he can rock that earring, he can rock that hair.
I can rock anything. I hope y'all know that.
This entire page is a blank for me.
Okay, so
top left.
Top left, Sabrina chilling with Sabrina.
No, it's not Edith. It's Lilith.
Damn.
Okay.
The first witch, technically.
Don't spoil it. You know I've only seen the first
episode. The story of Lilith is the first witch. Lilith is the first witch, period. Everywhere.
I mean, she's always the first witch, technically. She's not always a witch. She's not
always a witch.
But that's like biblical folklore, though.
Okay.
Well,
I'm thinking supernatural because in supernatural she wasn't a witch. She was.
You're right. She was a demon, and
technically she was the mother of them. So
she's the mother of demons, technically, but demons are technically not supposed to be.
I think the top right is also from Sabrina too. I just can't remember.
Yeah, she is. She's
one of the witches. She was a witch of like children.
She was. What is her name?
This makes me want to watch that so bad.
Well, the thing with
I know, but I want to. But they say they might bring it back.
They might. I mean, they left it pretty open-ended.
I think it's fine where they
really, Jessa.
But they should leave it there. They should.
Jessa, you sound so over it. Nah,
I liked it a lot. I think that it was really cute. Season 1, season 2, it was kind of like, I'm gonna keep watching it, and then 3 and 4, I was just like, all right, well, I'm gonna watch it.
I'm sorry, but what was it? Episode 6, episode 7, when we had the surprise cast members and their whole episode, I loved it. I loved that one.
But that's a given. I know what you're talking about.
It was like
anyone who knows anything about Sabrina is gonna love those episodes, though.
Yeah, I know. They were like creepy. They were creepy throwbacks to like the original Sabrina. Those were really.
She's just really good at playing a good girl, and I think when she then tried to play like this badass, I kind of checked out a little bit and was like, I don't know if you're acting acting is good enough for this.
Girl, you are not Allison Hannigan. Take your ass on.
We got some Eve's Bayou.
Eve's Bayou. If you don't know anything about Eve's Bayou, this was... I wouldn't even think of them as witches until they put them on the list. And I was like, whoever made this list, wherever you are, thank you.
Thank you.
That
Yes.
includes the video queens.
It is so thorough. I don't know how you know all these witches, but good for you.
Right. I'm like, what?
This movie scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen East Bayou, go see it. It's really cool. It's really not so much about witchcraft, which is kind of cool that the witchcraft is so present, especially in a black movie that was like when it was, and that's I would consider a classic black film. It utilized witchcraft and it didn't explain it. It didn't like rationalize it. It wasn't a part of the whole world. It was just there, and it was accepted. It was just part of the story.
But also, like, it takes place in New Orleans, or at least Louisiana. The Bayou.
It's in Louisiana, yeah.
So, like, you're gonna get some mention of voodoo somewhere.
Yeah.
So, like, it's gotta happen at some point.
But it also didn't villainize these women.
No, that's right.
It didn't. That's what was cool about it too. Like, they were witches, and that's just who they were. That's what they practiced. But it didn't make them bad.
That's awesome. I love that.
Side note about her. Her character was cursed. And her curse was that every person she fell in love with would die.
Oh.
So sad.
Only men? Or, like, only lovers? Or, like, friends and family, too?
Lovers. Her men. Yeah, so I remember, like, this is when I fell in love with Debbie Morgan. So when she showed up on Charmed, I was like, oh, my God. But this is when I fell in love with her. Okay. These are all of the witches that were also...
The heretics.
The heretics from Vampire
Diaries. So
heretics are vampire. So basically, there's this thing called siphons. Siphons aren't only allowed to use magic if they suck the magic out of something else. They siphon the magic out of something else. So they live their whole lives like basically as parasites. But vampirism in this world is a spell.
Oh.
So by becoming vampires, they have an unlimited source of magic.
Right, so they're pulling the magic from the vampirism.
So unlike other witches who, when they become vampires, they can't have magic. When they become vampires, they also have magic. So they are vampire witches.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Right. So my only, they could have done some things with the heretics. My biggest issue was, like, the one black heretic
didn't speak.
And he was like a servant.
He wasn't a servant. He was not a servant. He was not a servant. He wasn't. He was their brother.
But not explicitly. But every time you saw him, he never spoke, but he was bringing somebody's tea, opening somebody's door. He was
the muscle. He was the only dude in the clique.
No.
He was the muscle.
No, but he was somebody's servant. That's what it was. Yeah.
We disagree because I feel like I didn't like that he didn't speak. I didn't get the servant thing, but I'm not going to actually say that that's not true because I can definitely get how you got that. So I'll let you have that one. What I didn't like about it was that, like, they were so easily, like, squashed by dumbass issues. Like, there was this build up. This is one of those examples of, like, a build up with it didn't go anywhere. Like, it was a season break. These characters were out there, like, oh my God, there's vampire witches. Oh, what's everybody going to do, right? And then when we introduced them, they were very human, which I liked. But then that's what eventually killed them. It wasn't.
Right.
Because of course, the characters couldn't destroy these vampire witches. So instead of having trying to figure out a way for the characters to feasibly destroy them, they just destroyed themselves. And I was like, that's a cop out to me.
Right. And the problem was because this whole idea of okay, the witches are servants of nature and the vampires are abomination. And so you have this hybrid of the two things that should not go together. And it was somewhat lackluster.
It was a missed opportunity.
It was.
So we've got supernatural guest stars. This was they were married on here. They played a married couple of witches.
So James, is it James Marston?
Yeah, James Marston.
Marster.
No, James Marston is Cyclops.
Well, see, I always because their names were so similar. I always get the names mixed up, but I know who they are. But he was also in season 2 of Witches of East End as a witch. Yes.
Okay. Showing up everywhere. This is the witch who Piper had to smack down real quick, which is why, undisputably, Piper is the strongest charmed one. Because in this episode, it asked who the strongest witch was, and it kept saying Piper, and Piper is the one who ended up killing her. So it was undisputed. This is the lady from the original
Vampire Diaries.
Vampire Diaries. Yes.
Yes.
She was a witch. She I don't know. I mean, they have her in here. This is supposed to be like one of the most powerful witches of all time. I don't know why she's.
Amanda McGonagall's not on here.
I think she is. Who is this?
As the character, I love her.
She looks so familiar.
She does.
She does look familiar.
I've seen her.
I feel like she was on. I feel like she was on Coven.
No, I feel like this is either Vampire Diaries or Supernatural.
I feel like Supernatural. I've never seen Vampire Diaries.
Right. I feel like this is Supernatural too.
The redhead looked like she was from the originals. There was a redheaded witch in the originals. I think that's her. I can't
remember. Okay.
I don't remember.
Guys, the most iconic witch is the one who gets burned at the stake, yelling Balenciaga.
Do we recognize any of these witches?
I do not.
Okay. Kudos to you. Okay, we're just gonna boop.
Oh, the Covenant. I see that one. Stephen Strait at the bottom.
Her. What? She was on Vampire Diaries, right? Isn't this the auntie? This isn't her?
I don't think so.
She was on Vampire Diaries, but she played a vampire. She's on a lot of stuff. Great actress, beautiful woman.
Really too. Yeah,
I can't think of what she's in this one.
Okay, so the bottom left and the bottom right were from the Covenant, which is like male witches.
Yeah, the Warlock movie.
Yes,
yeah,
I remember
that one was okay. So it was good and it was bad. I didn't hate it, but
I didn't hate either. But it wasn't like what I thought
it wasn't
it was
like great. Like I felt like there was a lot of promise in like
missed opportunity
in the animation of it. You know what I mean?
But they didn't know what to do with it. Let me tell you what it was, Julian.
Yeah,
you have a male led movie. But about witchcraft, so they tried to make it like a big, a blockbuster action film.
They tried to make it like this,
and they tried to macho it up unnecessarily, and they could have just had witchcraft.
Yeah, it's like, why can't
the
they
love
just be male
story
witches?
was so problematic for me too.
Really, I don't remember the love story. I just remember being like, why are they trying to make these dudes action stars?
He like fell in love with a girl, and then the next day was like willing to risk it all to save her, and I was like, come on, dude.
Yeah, it wasn't really, I think the entire movie was a little bit rushed. You know what I mean? I felt like they could have done a little bit more world building, I suppose.
I feel I think the world building was a little lacking.
That was a little bit lacking, and that's why I said it was like there was a lot of potential there, but it kind of just fell short a little bit. Because I did like was the concept of how they were doing like the animating the spells and stuff like that and the magic. I was like, okay, the concept here isn't bad, but you're fucking it up.
This is a fun page. So technically, he's not a witch; he's a demon. But this is Peter Pan from Once Upon a Time. This is the Red Queen from Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. This is Jafar. Who's technically not a witch from Once Upon a Time in Wonderland,
but is a sorcerer. So yeah,
sorcerer. That's what I mean. I feel like all.
This is the Wicked Witch of the West, and this is the Wicked Witch of the East.
What was that movie called?
From Great and Powerful Oz.
It's Oz.
The Great and Powerful Oz.
Yes. With James
did we like that movie?
Franco, yes. I didn't hate it.
Jessa!
You didn't like it? She was like, it was terrible.
It was terrible.
I liked it, and then I didn't like it. Like, I wanted it to be a little bit darker than it was.
And that, I will give you that.
It went, like, when I saw where it was going, I was like, ooh. Like, when the thing happened that created the Wicked Witch of the West, I was like, ooh. And then I wanted them to just go dark.
Well, you know what the problem I have with a lot of movies that have like 3D effect, at least when they were first coming out, they were filming the movies for the 3D effect. You know what I mean? So like you would lose a lot of screen time because they're doing these things that are just to like make it pop. You know what I mean? But you're not moving the plot forward and things like that. It's like I'd rather you be moving the plot forward. I'd rather the person be fucking talking and standing out on the screen at me instead of me watching blurs flitter by for 10 minutes because you want something to pop off the screen at me. Like
and I don't need colors.
I don't need the colors and the fantastic. Just for the 3D. Just for the 3D experience. Like no, I'd rather you be putting a little bit more time and effort into like make instead of her magic pop instead. Put that effort somewhere else. That's what I had a problem with that movie. Was there was a lot of scenes where there was like they were just doing these scenes just to add the 3D effect because that's when 3D was like really big and it was like coming out. And
very true.
Yeah,
it was pretty.
Like, it was like 3D's the new thing on all the movies, so all the movies had 3D on them.
What I didn't like about it, I really enjoyed the story. It was dope. Like the story was dope. Especially with Rachel Weisz's character being the manipulator, because of course you think she's gonna become the Wicked Witch of the West the whole time. Because look at her, you know what I'm saying? She's wearing all black. She's got green stuff. finding out her story and her sister's story. But I didn't like Glenda's powers. She spread mist. That's what she did. She came and she spread a bunch of mist, and then things were better. I mean, it didn't really explain how that worked. Nobody was ever hurt by the mist. The mist never actually like changed anything. It's just like, oh, I spread mist, and now we're not in trouble anymore. It was weird.
It's like, girl, you could have done that at the beginning. Why an hour of show for nothing?
All right, so look, we need to do one more commercial break. We can we don't.
We only do 2 here.
Okay, so let's do this last one, and then do a little roundup of one more question, and then gotta.
I'm so glad that this is the one we landed on, because remember I told you about that show, The Emerald City?
Yes.
This is the Wicked Witch of the whichever one gets smushed by the house.
Which one?
Right.
Her in the middle.
The middle.
Right.
Yeah.
Middle.
This is Glenda. Mm-hmm. And this is the Wicked Witch of the West, the one who's like in the opium dens and stuff. If you haven't seen,
I love this.
The Emerald City, girl, like she's basically like the politician. She's like the one who's traditionalist, who actually like her power is like her job is to maintain the elemental balance of Oz. She has to stand in the middle of a storm and make sure it stays balanced, which is why she gets crushed when Dorothy comes in. So Dorothy has to take on her role or everything falls out of chaos, because she's the one that killed her. So like in the first episode, Dorothy has to go into the middle of this storm wearing these ruby slippers, which are gloves, and somehow manage to like contain the storms. Otherwise everything fucking goes away.
Right.
And then her character is like, she's not evil, she's just like opium den, like she's not pure like Glenda.
Yes, that reminds me. If anyone has ever read Innocent Mage, the Kingbreaker series, it's very much like that, where like you like there's a central wizard who has to like kind of maintain order for the world, and like it's through weather magic, like that's their big thing, and it's like maintaining the storm. Totally
these
random,
are the only. But once they took away magic, these 4 are the only 4 who retain their magic, and it's generally because Oz let them, not Oz, the wizard let them, because their magic was necessary for some reason. It was so dope. It was political. If you're on Facebook, and I don't know what group I was in, but there's some nerd groups. Get in these nerd groups and have a good time. If you're a geek like me, like get in here, you find really cool stuff like this. You can hang out with people like us. But we everybody don't got glasses in the group. All right, but yeah, that was fun.
That was really fun.
Oh, that was nice. Is there any witches that weren't on those lists that somebody wants?
Oh no, there were probably like
many.
15 and more pages. The whole thing was like 32 pages, so it was really long.
Yeah.
But it was like,
they got a lot of them though.
Well, I brought it because I was like, how are we going to talk about everything? And I was just like, and I found it, like literally just stumbled across it. And I was like, the list is so comprehensive. Like, I literally was like, oh, why isn't so-and-so? Oh, there she is. McGonagall is on there. Like every witch is on there. I don't think Umbridge was on there though. Thank God.
Oh, thank God. Right. I mean,
I can't stand Umbridge.
Everyone hates Umbridge.
Everyone hates Umbridge.
That immediate feeling of rage.
Honestly, kudos to that actress though, because to this day.
Come back to the rest of the list.
Okay, we can do that. We can do that.
Yes.
Listen, I'm down. I feel like every episode we've had, we really picked some stuff, which is why I think like when we move into Twitch, we're gonna be doing some extended stuff just for the Twitchers, so that like, because honestly, like when you think about topics like this, we literally could have done this for the rest of the day.
Yeah,
we really could have done it for the rest of the day.
Really could have. All right, so thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Thank you, Miss Jessa, for coming back and hanging with us.
I'm so happy that I got to be here. Thank you guys.
Have you.
Yes.
Oh, show everybody at home.
We have a little bit of merch. So if you're ever thinking
merch,
so for those that are listeing, listen to our show,
we have a particular slogan.
That's our slogan: chaotic and unprofessional.
So we do everything chaotic and unprofessional. I can't get out.
So for our folks that are listening, Julian has some merch that he just created. It's a mug with the Geekin'Out logo and our favorite phrase, chaotic and unprofessional. And
we're thinking about getting it as wine glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Wine glasses.
You know what? I'm looking for a chalice. Because I'm like, we're going to do this. I want to drink this bitch out of a pewter chalice. You know, like the whole nine. I want it to be on brand and on point. But can I tell you, I've been looking and it's fucking hard. You know what I mean?
As it should be.
The only ones I can find are like on Etsy. Get your Etsy personalized one, yeah, for $800 fucking to drink.
Oh no,
not 800.
What is the chalice made out of?
It's not like $800. But you know what I mean? It's like, but my cup is certainly a fraction of any price that they're selling on Etsy.
What is the chalice made out of, though?
That's what I'm saying. Well, to be honest, I think it's the process of making the chalice that makes it so much expensive.
Well, and then you gotta engrave it. You can't just like stick a sticker on it, you know.
It's not like ceramic.
You have to like exactly.
You better stick to that wine glass.
That's the only thing. So like, yeah, that's why I'm like, maybe we'll just go back to the wine glasses because I thought maybe a chalice, but
you need to get some wine glass. Get the stemless ones like this.
That's what I was about to say. They should be the stemless ones, though. I love a stemless wine glass. I know.
A stemless, yeah.
I love a stemless wine glass.
Look, so because if you guys haven't noticed, I'm always drinking a glass of something on here. So let me promote while I'm talking.
I thought you said stimulus at first.
Stimulus too. I want my stimulus too.
Because then I was like, well, I just got my stimulus check. Maybe I can't get this.
Well, that's Alright, so anyways.
Wait, because that's all you can spend that money on. You can't pay your rent.
Maybe one bill, but it's
right. Alright, so thank you so much for joining us tonight. Next episode, it should be Duryea, right?
I think it's me. It's either me or we have a guest host. I think we
do have a guest host.
I think we have a guest host, and they're going to be. What was the topic that we talked about? Oh my god!
Oh, you did just say it before.
No, it is me.
It was for it was for something though. Oh, Julie.
I don't know. No, not the one I told y'all today. That's for a different episode. But either way, we have some guest hosts lined up for y'all. Some of them are going to be hosting. Some of them are not. I actually talked to a guy today on Twitch. He is from across the pond, and he's a nerd. He's a comedian. And we're gonna let him host the show. And I told him to talk about whatever you want. And he wants to host the show about, I don't know when it's coming, but Pushing Daisies. So if you haven't seen Pushing Daisies, go ahead and binge it now. Yeah. So that way when you come and watch it with us, because we're gonna binge it too, and we're gonna have a whole we're gonna start doing that too. Like if you're at home and you're watching and you're like, oh, do an episode about a TV show, a movie. Absolutely, let us know. We will do a whole episode. We're gonna do another Buffy episode, but we're gonna do a whole Game of Thrones episode. We're gonna do a Game of Thrones episode. We might do a Game of Thrones episode just about last season, so everybody can get that out their chest.
We can talk about the last season and be done with it.
All right, so you can find Jessa on Instagram at jessa.garrett. You can find Julian on Instagram at badjuju. That's 2 D's, JUJU. You can find me at multiple places, because social media manager, on IG at Rickey_Z, so that's RICKEY, and on Twitter at _Rickey Z. And if you feeling generous, you can always send me some Cash App.
Girl, yeah.
At Rickey. I changed it. EYZW.
There you go.
Yes, gotta make it consistent.
Consistency.
Yes, we all need a little money. And then you can always find Duryea on Instagram at Dury with the yay. That's DUREY with AYAY. And make sure you follow us on Instagram and our Facebook group. Facebook page, we just started that last week. So please make sure you like and follow our Facebook page, and like and subscribe our YouTube channel so you can always get updates on when we have our next episode. So that's it for tonight, guys. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Good night. Bye, y'all.